Constantly shifting through the time-space continuum, Metron's three disciples observe the universe from the Mobius Couch.
So, make lots of noise, kiss lots of boys, or kiss lots of girls, if that's something you're into. When the straight and narrow gets a little too straight, roll up a joint or don't. Just follow your arrow wherever it points. Follow your arrow to the Mobius Couch, America's #1 fan podcast of TV and film star Eric Alan Kramer. Many of you probably know him from his role as Little John in Men in Tights, which is his role which turned all of us gay.
And did, yeah. That and Dolph Lundgren. It's relevant because Dolph Lundgren in Masters of the Universe as He-Man when he's getting whipped at the end.
He did
with that electric whip with the lacerations. Yeah, he looked real good. He had the harness. He didn't have the harness on, but he had a harness on as well. Like very queer coded movie.
Whoa! He-Man queer coded what?
Yeah.
No.
If you guys didn't know, I'm here to spill the tea.
I don't believe it.
Are you sure?
I don't. You're saying You're saying muscular, harnessed up He-Man.
I mean, if you watch that cartoon, they spend 90% of every episode of that cartoon like wrestling with each other.
They did.
Like just grappling. Like they're not punching or they're just like like the whole time. You're like, what?
They did.
Somebody gonna throw a punch here? No, just half naked grabbing around. All right.
It did. Skeletor felt very like Drag House Mom.
Oh yeah, he's
energy with his little cadre of little queens under him. It was
By the way, spoilers.
Little queens.
Same feeling for the new movie.
Animal Man. Yeah.
Big Fist Man, Animal Man, all those terrible.
Fisto.
Yeah. That's not their names.
Fisto is Animal Man and Fisto are definitely two characters.
Animal Man's not a character.
Oh, he's not.
Beastman.
Beastman.
You should know that one.
Okay, but anyway, before we get too deep into this He-Man discussion, I think there's an issue with the Mobius Couch controls because it is an interdimensional vehicle.
Oh yeah.
It is a time-space vehicle. Let me beep beep boop 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 boop. The Mobius Couch, where we talk about comic books.
And we still talk about Eric Alan Kramer.
And we still talk about Eric Alan Kramer. Little John.
Little John in Men in Tights. Oh, wait. In an actual Hulk movie.
Yeah. No, but Mobius Couch, we talk about comic books and about 90s gay awakenings as well. That's the other topic we talk about, the Mobius Couch. Ladies and gentlemen, your hosts are me, Alessandro. Good to see everybody. And I'm joined, of course, by Joe.
Oh, hey,
Joe. Whichever direction you're in. Hey, Joe.
Hey, guys. Hey, I'm Joe.
And Patrick is joining us. Hey, Pat.
Hi. Hello. This is Patrick. Hi.
I don't know if that looks like it on your screen, but you're definitely pointing at me when you said Patrick. And
You're reversed. For me, you're reversed. So that's Patrick, and that's Joe.
That's right. You got it right that time.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a treat today because we are kind of a first for the Mobius Couch. We're going to be talking about Green Arrow, which is not a property we've surveyed before.
No, I mean, he's been in stuff. He was in Identity Crisis.
Yeah, he's been kind of a supporting character in some things we've done. But we are and we're also covering. Not only are we covering Green Arrow, but we are covering the Green Arrow miniseries, the Longbow Hunters, which is the series that kind of launched Green Arrow as a main, not a supporting act for Green Lantern anymore, but his own standalone comic.
Well, he wasn't supporting Green Arrow or Green Lantern. They were supporting each other. Both of their books were bad, and they threw them together.
And they threw them together. Yeah, right.
Maybe I was wrong. Did I thought Green Arrow didn't have a solo book till after this?
That is correct. Because this was such a big hit is the reason that he got his own steady book. And actually, Mike Grell wrote that as well. He wrote the Longbow Hunters.
Yeah, Mike Grell started after this. He started
the long-running series. Yeah.
Huh. What's your relationship with Green Arrow?
The very first comic I ever bought was at a kiosk at the North Point Mall in Roswell, Georgia.
Oh,
and it was
okay,
a Green Arrow, individual Green Arrow comic, but it was Connor Hawk Green Arrow, because this was in the late 90s. So at the time it wasn't Ollie, but Connor was the Green Arrow. But I'm not
the better of the two, I would say.
Well, I'm biased because I grew up with him as Green Arrow, but I'm not kidding. The very first in all of my history comic I bought was a Green Arrow comic. I don't remember the number. I could look it up, but it's Connor shooting a shark off of a cruise ship as the cover.
Hey, wait! I think that cruise ship is a crossover with him and Kyle and Wally, or maybe I'm thinking of a different story.
I don't remember them.
There was one where there was like a boat. There was like the covers were cool because they all lined up, but it was in their individual books. It was like Flash's book and Kyle's book, and
if you can remember Alessandro's first comic book he's ever bought, that's pretty fucking insane.
I mean, I was
because I wasn't. I mean, I think I was like 9 or 10. I wasn't a baby.
Tons of comics.
I was about 9 or 10, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Right.
But yeah, so that's my relationship with Green Arrow. Is basically that, because after that I kind of. So he in the Super Friends, there were a couple of episodes where he was in it
shooting a shark.
Yeah, see if AI has an answer for you that isn't hallucinated. But generally, too, in the 70s Super Friends shows that they were rerunning on Cartoon Network, there were a couple episodes that featured Green Arrow, and I kind of thought it was fun because it's like, oh, he's got trick arrows, and he was a new hero I hadn't heard about before, so he just seemed like kind of a fun, something different hero for me. But that's my personal history with Green Arrow.
My history of Green Arrow is my brother had an action hero that was Green Arrow. So I didn't know who that was, but I used to play the action hero. Action hero. Action figure.
Okay. A toy.
Let me start. A toy.
An action figure. Toy. I thought you meant action hero, like there was some specific
action hero.
And then I was like, what brand is that? I don't know that.
I think I'm just thinking the last
action. And I know a lot about toys. So I was very confused. Like a superpowers toy?
No, it was like he was the size of a G.I. Joe.
Like a big G.I. Joe with
small? No, like the small G.I. Joe without.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's superpowers toy.
Yeah.
So they're like 4.5, 5 inches, maybe.
Yeah, he was tiny. Yeah, with a little quiver. But really, I didn't really know him until like Justice League, the cartoon show, and maybe like Justice League JLA, Justice League Elite. And so my relationship with Ollie's always kind of been like, I feel like he's kind of a pompous hypocrite a lot of the time. I'm not a huge fan of him. I did enjoy his character in this book, though. This is the most I ever liked Oliver Queen, I think.
I mean, I had read him in like Justice League, and I liked Connor a lot, obviously. But then there was I mean, I'd read him before. I don't know when it started though. I don't think I had any Green. I think I had a few Green Arrow books from like the 80s when I was a kid. I might have been like, oh, let's try this, and then I never kind of went back. Maybe
you definitely had this one because I
read Longbow Hunters later in life, so I didn't read it in the 80s, but I read it in like maybe the late 90s, early 2000s. I might have read it like around the time I met you guys. But I was so I had an ex-girlfriend who wanted to get into comics because I'd take her to the comic shop all the time, and she'd started reading my comics and was like interested, but she was like, well, I want to start collecting something, but not something you collect specifically. So that way I'm not like double buying something. Like, like I'm buying something that you could also read. I don't know why she settled on Green Arrow. Maybe because she was obsessed with Lord of the Rings at the time, and like a lot
makes sense. That's
but right. But I think she was just like, how about this one? And I was like, all right, go for it. But she started reading all the Kevin Smith stuff, like Arrow, like when Green Arrow came back.
Yeah.
And then I started reading that, and I was like, ugh, I'm so against this. But I was like, begrudgingly, this isn't bad. So I started like and Connor's in that book a lot, and that's when they introduce Maya, his like, I don't know, adopted daughter that becomes the new Speedy. And like, it's pretty good, and I like a lot of that book. And then the art's okay. It's Phil Hester for a lot of it in the beginning, and he's very cartoony, but I liked his art. And then eventually I was just like, I'm going to start reading better Green Arrow stuff. I wanted to read some older Green Arrow stuff, so I picked this up and started reading this. But I really liked it at the time. It made me really like Green Arrow.
Yeah. Well, one last thing. I looked it up. The aforementioned Green Arrow issue that I bought, that was the first comic I ever bought, was Green Arrow 130, which, Joe, to your point, was part of the 3-of-a-kind crossover with the Flash and Kyle Rayner Green Lantern. So, yeah.
Nailed
it.
Cruise ship, right?
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Wow, man.
And the cover is Connor Hawke using his bow to hit a great white shark.
I should have just said
take
Connor
this
Hawke, Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, for the listeners, we're talking about
that's it. He does look like he's shooting a shark, though, in fairness.
So talking about the Longbow Hunters, a little bit of background on this. So as we mentioned, Mike Grell, he wrote the book, but also did the art on it.
Yeah.
And Julia Lacamont, I don't know how to pronounce it, Lacamont, did the colors. So this was a miniseries that ran from August to October 1987. It won an Eisner Award in '88. It was that popular. And then B, like we mentioned, is the reason that DC kind of greenlit a standalone, monthly standard Green Arrow series. This was before this, Green Arrow had never had his own starring comic. Mm-hmm. It's also, this was the first time that we see Ollie in the kind of Hood redesign costume, because back in the day he had a Robin Hood cap, and Mike Grell was the first person to do the Hood.
He looked exactly like the toy Patrick was talking about. Yeah. The classic Green Arrow costume that we know from like Superpowers or Super Friends cartoon later on. And another Mike Grell note, Joe, which you will appreciate, but his first big DC ongoing series he wrote was Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes. So that was his first ongoing. This was before he did Longbow Hunters and Green Arrow. Yeah, Mike Grell, he's been around for a long time. He's done some really good stuff. I love this design of Green Arrow's costume is like crushes it for me. I was just like, this is perfect. I love the little arrowhead shape eye hole. I guess patches he had, because it doesn't connect in the middle. Yeah, no. It's just two like arrowhead.
They're like individual.
Yeah. And I love that because the shadow of the hood comes down and it connects them over his nose in certain angles and shadowy scenes. And I'm like, I love the fuck out of that. For some reason, I loved it so much. There's a lot of images of his close-ups on eyes in this too. Like they're focusing. Big focuses on their eyes. And so like you can see that a lot. And I don't know. There's just a little bits of his art throughout this. I'm just like, man, I know it's old-fashioned and kind of not even the best art really in the grand scheme of things, but like it's still so good in like terms of what he was attempting to do.
Well, this was a big, aside from visually, this was a big reframing of the character, because before this, like we mentioned, most comics he was in where it was Green Lantern and Green Arrow had the boxing glove arrows and lasso arrow and all these kind of trick arrows.
It's funny because when I started reading it, the Kevin Smith line is when he brought all that shit back. Yeah. He's like, I got to bring back the silly dumb crap. And I'm like, oh, god damn it.
Because Connor used like actual arrows. Right?
Yeah, he just used arrows.
But also, Ollie really mostly used real arrows from the 80s to the 90s until he died.
Yeah.
And that was Grell because, again, before this part of the Green Lantern, he was kind of this like trick arrow kind of
making him this sideshow, remaking him into this urban hunter that actually shoots people with arrows.
Yeah, and also this guy who like fight. He's not with Green Lantern comically fighting cosmic crime.
Right.
He's this urban hunter dealing with street crime, kind of like a Batman style.
Yeah. And this is kind of the show Arrow takes from this in terms of the tone of at least the early seasons of the tone of like how serious they were taking it and more grounded.
Well, the show Arrow takes a lot from this, and then the later Green Arrow Year One that Andy Diggle wrote, which we may or may not have read, but aren't talking about it here.
Did we read the Justice League when I made us do early Justice League? Did we read the issues with Green Arrow running Connor running around?
Connor.
Key?
I think so, yeah. With Prometheus?
I feel like we did. With
the key. Yeah.
We did the key ones.
Yeah. Well, I love that specifically. That's referencing this, because it was during when Ollie was dead. But it's referencing that because, like, Connor gets shot in the back by one of the little robots or whatever that the key is using in the Justice League space station watchtower. And all of his arrows get shot off his back, basically. And he finds Oliver's old trick arrows because it's like in the trophy room or something, and that's all he has, and he's fucking up because he's like, how the hell did he shoot this fucking boxing glove arrow and shit like that. That's what my memory is of, like, Connor being like, what the fuck, how the hell did he even do this, kind of thing. But I don't know, there's little stuff like that. Like, that's mostly my impression of Oliver before getting into the Kevin Smith didn't write it for very long, but it kept going. But I've read almost that whole run. But then, getting into this and getting deeper into the character was really this book, and it kind of really solidified him as not a piece of shit, as Patrick. Yeah,
he's pretty.
Cool. He's still a little problematic, but compared to normal Ollie, he's.
Oh yeah, this is very grounded,
palatable. Yeah, he's pretty digestible as a hero in this version.
Mm-hmm. He's not grooming anyone.
He makes mistakes, but he's not like. Grossly.
He does also another big deal, part of Grell's reimagining, but he actively murders a human being in this.
He does,
which back to Kevin Smith, like DC tried to kind of soft retcon this because when they killed him and brought him back, the resurrected Ollie didn't have memories of having killed someone because through the 80s and early 90s, like him kind of wrestling with having murdered somebody was a big character point that Grell and other writers were dealing with.
I think it's one of the reasons he died.
Yes.
Well, so he didn't like choose to die. It was like, I feel like there was a briefcase with a bomb and there was a helicopter scenario.
It was an explosion. An explosion killed him. Yeah,
but I remember him. If I remember correctly, he like chose basically to stay with the bomb and kicked somebody out of the helicopter to save their life, and then he exploded. But like, it was kind of because he was wrestling with all the grief and like remorse of having killed someone.
He killed the fucking serial killer though. Like, he was about to carve.
Yeah, but okay, we'll get to that later. But still,
I think the point is, because is it Shadow or Shadow?
Shadow.
I don't know. I said Shadow the whole time.
Shadow.
But
let's just go with Shadow. When Shadow says you could have made that shot without killing him, right? He doesn't answer. I was like, oh, that's.
I love that for like.
He could have stopped it and had the same
granted, we can talk about this when we get there. But I love that they don't like show it's his arrow at first, and it almost makes it seem like it's hers. And then as he's leaving, he like looks down and there's green fletchings coming out of the back, and you're like, oh shit, it was him, because he's outside at the time, so you don't know. He's looking through windows, and then the arrow goes through the guy's throat, and he smashes through the glass, and then he's like, all this stuff's happening, and you're like, did he do that or she do that? Kind of thing, and then. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was.
Well, so let's, I guess, before we get into the issue by issue stuff, let's go with overall takes.
I mean, we kind of done.
We are kind of already did it.
We kind of already done it. I mean, like we can sum up real quick. Patty, how'd you feel about it?
I thought the story was great. The pacing was great. I like the fact that it was like a street level hero thing. He wasn't fighting like space monsters or something JLA type stuff. I kind of felt like it was one of those things we talk about when we first started a podcast, how like I feel like the storyline would be like good to adapt into a miniseries or a movie. You could even make it a period piece, like instead in the 1987 or whatever.
Oh, that'd be so
I like that they were.
I
know. And one the other thing I liked that they were in Seattle and not Star City. They were like in a real city, kind of made it more grounded. And then the art, I think it's dated, but it still holds up in my opinion. And it's very, it looks like it's almost done with like marker and colored pencil, and you can see every brushstroke that he took to draw everything and color it. I like that Ollie. Did he not?
No, Julia Larcamont.
Oh, well then Julia Larcamont did a great job as the colorist. She did a fantastic job. And then my other note is just that I like that Ollie was like not this muscle-bound superhero and just kind of a Olympian archer. like not.
Yeah.
I didn't love that he's 43 and having a midlife crisis.
That made me feel old.
When he was like freaking out about being a grandfather, and then he was like, "I'm 43." I was like, "God."
Well, I'd be
I was laughing at that too. Yeah.
It's not his actual son though, so I guess it'd be all right.
Yeah.
Well, but I get
he clarifies that many times.
Yeah, but he's basically, it's like when you hear 25-year-olds like, "Oh my God, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? I'm 25," and it's like, you're young, But it is weird being 40, reading, a comic where a 43-year-old man acts like a grandpa.
He's also, he acts like he acts like he's 68 in this.
He does,
and he's not. Granted, if I was running around doing any of the things he was doing in this book, I'd be like, can we just take a minute here?
I mean, if nothing else,
Shadow would kick my ass too. So I guess I can't be mad at him.
Well, but also even just the few poses where he's crouched for like 5 minutes at a time, like my knees would not straighten.
Yeah, he's sitting. He sits cross-legged on a desk at the end of the book, and I'm just like, I don't think I could sit like that for more than 5 minutes without being like, my knee, gotta straighten out my knee. I'm an old man.
Yeah.
But yeah. Overall, like I'm with Patrick. I really liked it holds up. It's kind of a classic yet extremely dated at the same time. I don't like, and I think that has to do with the fact that Mike Grell wrote and drew it, because he allowed his own art to tell the story. Whereas like if this was like a normal 80s comic, I feel like it would just be walls of text, and narration bubbles and whatever. And it's just like, oh man, maybe because he was writing for himself, he was like, well, I can get that part of the story across in the way they're looking at each other. And and he could pace it himself too. So this might have like the benefit of having just one creator on it as well, not including the colorist, and the letterer, but that kind of thing. Just having an artist writer team, just be one guy, I feel like is maybe why this holds up so well. Yeah. But it's great overall, but we can talk about it. Al, what you got?
I don't have much more to add than what you all said. I don't want to use the word dated because I feel like that has a negative connotation. This just feels like
it's in a good way though. Like it feels like it's from the 80s, but it's
that's
not.
What I mean, it just feels like an artifact of the time, but not necessarily negative. None of this. First of all, I think the art is really wonderful. Grell does a great job. The colorist, Patrick mentioned this. It looks like pencil colors almost. It looks very art school-ish in that kind of sense, but it works. It's done really well. The art was great. It reminded me a little bit of Craven's Last Hunt in that. Mm-hmm. And this also feels very 80s, but like it paints urban centers as just rain and whores and AIDS and crack and nothing else. And it's kind of weird because especially if you've been to Seattle or New York lately, they're kind of built for upper middle class yuppie consumption now.
Yeah.
And it's weird to think of it, but in the 80s, I guess urban centers it was lined and filled with whores and crack and AIDS and rain. Apparently it rained Seattle, maybe the rain is more appropriate. It does rain a lot there. But so it was kind of funny seeing that urban construct of like this just
you could tell he lived there or has lived there. Too, like you could tell those were real places. The way they were, like the layouts and the backgrounds of places were just like not necessarily every room. Like the city and the way the wharf looks and like just certain things.
But that was like very 80s. Also, the focus on it feels very late 80s, but this like hyper focus on Japan and Yakuza, and Japan's taking over, and they're the villains, and this and that is also feels very late 80s. That felt like that
very 80s,
of Japan's coming for America economically.
Yeah, they sold us all the video games and Walkmans, and the Americans freaked out.
Yeah, and they dumped all their cars on it, and like it just feels like the late 80s zeitgeist was filled with this dread that Japan was going to overtake America and
good
rule the world. And that felt very much part of this. So again, I don't want to use the word dated because that seems negative, but it feels like just kind of an artifact of that time. But again, it's great. The story is gritty, but in a way that works. Ollie is relatable on a human level, and I like the gritty reimagine. He's imagined in a gritty way, but not in an adolescent gritty way of like, do you bleed? Fuck you, I'm Batman kind of way, but just in an actual adult gritty way.
Not gritty, just real and grounded.
Yeah, more mature. Let's just use the word mature rather than gritty and the like.
I mean, there's a
adolescent
shadowy picture of his nutsack as he jumps out of the bath later. You know?
We get a lot of
you can't really see it, but you can see it.
We get a lot of naked Ollie. No, so I thought it was great. Honestly, it's weird because all the things that I didn't like about Craven's Last Hunt are kind of here, but I like them here because they're actually kind of portrayed, I don't know, in just a more digestible manner. I don't know. And also, and one thing we haven't talked about too is just, especially the last book, I mean, the last issue, like the third set in the series, the action is works in also a fun 80s action movie kind of way. There's helicopters, explosions, and it's sort of like a Stallone Schwarzenegger movie ending, but it's just fun.
I was gonna say it reads to me like a Magnum PI episode. But with like a superhero instead of Tom Selleck. You know, like it's just, you know, I don't know. It's the whole thing, like the going around in street clothes and like interrogating bartenders and tattoo artists and stuff like that is like while he's like gathering clues. I mean, I don't know. We can get into it, but like I was just like, I feel like I'm watching an episode of Magnum PI right now.
Yeah, no, a lot of that was. Okay, but that was my overall take, is pretty much just mirroring what you guys said, but I enjoyed this. I thought it was a good...
Let's talk about the first issue of the Hunters. There's only 3. They're larger sized, of course. But
they're basically 3. It's pretty much 6 issues.
It's
3 double issues,
I like it because it's a very clear story arc, though. The 80s kind of like allowed for that more often. I feel like they could just do weird shit and be like, how about 3 issues that are extra long?
You
know,
but so we get right away, we're introduced to the Space Needle and Pike Place Market, so we know we're in Seattle. Right away,
and then someone gets murdered right away. Right away. Sex worker slash. So 18 victims, and they're like, but they just moved to town, so they're like finding it. They're like reading an old newspaper.
Well, also that victim, by the way, a little April O'Neil coded.
I was just about to say that, like April O'Neil. She's got Jubilee's jacket on, but that's also April O'Neil's jacket. So it's very April O'Neil coded.
But it's right before maybe.
But like it's 87, so when did?
Yeah, it's before. It's before April O'Neil.
Interesting.
I mean, maybe not the comics, but like April O'Neil didn't wear the yellow
in the movie.
The movie and the movie and the cartoon.
The cartoon show. Yeah.
Maybe it's just.
It's also before Jubilee.
She's also
way before Jubilee.
But
before all of them, they all stole the look from this dead.
I guess this dead prostitute in the first page of Longbow Hunters inspired.
Styling, man, that yellow jacket.
We need to. We're gonna talk about sex workers a lot in this. I think we should all just say whore, like the way Frank does on Always Sunny. And just move on. Just say whore.
Yeah, I guess as a general preamble, we all, of course, respect and adore sex workers.
We all understand it's the word sex worker. We're using 80s vernacular.
Yeah, but we respect and understand that craft. Patrick has employed dozens of sex workers in his lifetime,
also,
so he knows all about it.
Least. Also, there's a
nice.
Let's not talk about that here. Also, there's the idea of a serial killer killing sex workers is like and getting away with it for a long time because the police don't give a fuck is a very normal thing in like the 70s, 80s.
Before DNA evidence, easy peasy.
Again, this is the late 80s in an urban center, so we are talking whores, we're talking AIDS, and we're talking crack.
Yeah, they moved into. First of all, they found an amazing castle house.
I was gonna say it's so cozy.
I'm like,
it's
how
amazing.
How did you? I would love to live there.
I know where they live is incredible. If it's a real place in Seattle, I would love to know what it's worth.
It can't be, right?
It can't be. I think it's just meant to be the Green Arrow aesthetic, right?
Yeah, I think it's. I would assume
so.
A Robin Hood type thing.
But there were so many establishing shots of Seattle. It's like, if this is a real place, it's got to be like.
Maybe there is. It would be so cool if there was a bookstore that looked like that in fucking Seattle in 1988. I'd be like, fuck yes.
Well, another quick thing before we start. So, is Ollie rich or not here? He seems like maybe not.
Maybe he's not.
He's not rich. He's not well off,
because he can afford a Robin Hood tower house,
right? But he's not rich. Because like they talk about it in his really long, drawn out flashback of like what's going on in his life, and then Dina. I love that Dinah just like walks off, stops, and he's like, "What the hell? Am I that boring?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you were, man. I was starting to fall asleep listening to you." But like he talks about it in this, it's like the very last page of it. But yeah, he like lost right up to the point where it cost me my fortune.
Right. He kind of often mentions he lost his fortune.
So like he lost his fortune in like the stock market crash.
Okay. Well, he's about to make it back in Iran-Contra money.
Poor. He's just like a normal person. Like he's upper middle class white dude in the 80s. Yeah,
he's just handed a bag of $1 million.
Well, we'll get to that. Another quick point I want to make about Dinah and Ollie.
$1 million in 2026 terms.
But I like these little moments when they're together. I kind of like Dinah and Ollie as a couple. There's a little visual here. You can see her like leaning down, butt up in his direction. Just little things couples do. They're just hanging out.
Also, it's just like I really like the way they talk to each other, and it seems like a real relationship. That's part of what I liked about this book. They felt like real people that actually gave a fuck about each other, even though he's like making the mistake of being like, "Let's get married and have kids," and she's like, "Whoa, bro," like that kind of.
Buddy, you're 42. You're too old to have kids.
43.
You
Sperm is super old.
Also, how old is Dinah? She's like,
I bet in this she's probably like in her late 20s, right?
Isn't maybe 30 or maybe
20 years younger than him. She's fine. She could totally have kids.
But so they're moving into the Robin Hood house, and all this gets interrupted by a woman flying through a window. Just window crash.
That's what drug addicts do. They just smash through the windows of innocent florists.
I also like how Ollie goes like, "This vial looks like crack," but he's looking at it like right next to his eyeball.
Let me lick it a little bit. See what happens.
He's like microscope looking at it in his eyeball. Like,
I think that's an art trope of like, I need to draw something up close, but I don't want to just have a hand holding a thing. So you put something.
Yeah, it would have been funny though if it had him like tasting it, like it looks like crack to me, and he's like licking the crack off. Anyway, but so
was Roy on crack or was he on heroin?
He was on
heroin. Okay. So
I don't know.
Ollie knowing
might have been on crack.
Like,
I don't know. Crack was a big 80s drug. It might have been crack. He was shooting up though, so like I always thought it was heroin, but like you can.
I guess you can shoot up.
You
crack.
can shoot up crack.
I don't know. Yeah, I think you could cook it.
You shoot up crack, anyway, right? You melt the rock and then you
melt it in the spoon, right?
You melt it in the spoon and you.
I always think of Requiem for a Dream. I always think of
listeners, if you know, please write to the.
Listen, I've never done crack, so I don't know. All my knowledge is from 80s cartoons, shows, and comics.
All my heroin knowledge
is from 80s cartoons. Dude, you don't remember Captain Planet like shooting up? Oh wait, that was the 80s.
No. Yeah,
I remember them. There was an AIDS episode of Captain.
Dude, the gummy bears would just eat a crack rock, and then they started bouncing around like crazy.
They drink crack juice. Dinah becomes
that's the secret ingredient to gummy berry juice.
And if humans take it, if humans take it, they become super strong. Dinah like develops an instant connection with this woman on crack that comes through the window, and she's like, I need to find out who sold her this crack. And
again, there's a lot of like 80. I mean, I don't want to say tropes, but I mean, like, 'cause it's not. It's just like there's a lot of social commentary on like what was happening in the 80s. That's very subtly written here, but in back when this came out, it would have just been very relevant. But like her just being the kind of woman that takes care of another woman innately for whatever, like, does not matter what's going on. Like, that's a big thing. Like, feminism was on the
well, but also, I mean, yes, so that is definitely
women were being treated like shit left and right. As not that it's any different now, but
Yeah, I mean, but that is part of it. But also, she is a hero.
Yeah.
And wants to.
Well, she's a strong female character and a hero. So, like, when she sees somebody in trouble, she's like, "I'm getting to the bottom of this shit." And I think the point of her, like, taking it personally and taking it to a degree of like, fuck you, Ollie, but I'm gonna kind of handle this by myself and like leave me alone for a little while, is kind of that vibe.
And that's also the part about so first of all, my one complaint about this run is going to be how it's handled, that she handles it herself, but we'll get to there later.
Yeah.
But I do also, back to the point about how I like the relationship, I do like how she kind of later, just leaves a note like, Ollie, I'm off being a superhero. And he just says, okay, we are both, I get that. We're superheroes. I kind of like how their relationship lets each other be, their
but he's still like sad about it and laying in the bed. That's fine. Laying in the bed and holding the empty side of the bed where she was.
Well, but that's just part of it. There's probably some Phil Collins playing in the
there's
background.
definitely some
late 80s. There is. He's just thinking.
What else did he have to do back then? There was no cable TV.
There was cable in '87. There's cable TV.
There's definitely like I Can Feel It Coming in the Air Tonight is playing when he's like walking through the streets.
It's like you're still listening to records back then. Cassette tapes.
Yeah, there's cassette tapes.
Also, there's two serial killers in Seattle. There's the slasher, and then there's the Robin Hood killer. Mm-hmm. So we've got that was a little bit confusing.
Well, but it comes out right. I mean, it's not told to you immediately, but it later comes out that there's multiple serial killers. Ollie, of course, is more interested in the slasher because innocent humans are dying.
Mm-hmm.
The police seem to be more worried about the Robin Hood killer because it's splashier and rich people are dying.
Yeah, rich people are dying.
And that's another.
Dana is more concerned about the drugs. Ends up those are connected.
And we need to be concerned about the wealthy white man dying because the wealthy white men employ the city of Seattle. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have the trickle down coming to us.
Well, look, Patrick, honestly, I know we're joking, but in defense, it was all kind of connected, sort of.
Yeah, like money and cheddar. I just said that.
Kind of makes sense.
No. Actually, I'm not exactly sure how it was connected. I know that he was in the army, but I didn't remember like how the slasher was connected.
Well, but they weren't. They quote unquote weren't in the army. Remember? They were, but weren't. They were, but then
the slasher's connected to them because they would hire people randomly to do work for them.
They hired him to do dirty work for them
in the military.
Gotcha.
They would hire their old military buddies to come do shit for them. They probably hired him to watch a boat one night at the pier, and then he wandered off and started killing people. He references killing people in Atlanta. And,
it was the I think that was implying the
Baltimore. What does he say? What else?
Chicago, maybe?
Chicago and Atlanta. Like he's been murdering people.
As Dinah and Ollie are moving in, we get a little flashback to Green Arrow's origin. Yeah. And it ties in a little bit to the year one comic we did or didn't read.
It's his real word.
But also, I mean to take this back to that theme of Mike Grell rewriting Green Arrow and kind of anchoring him back to sort of a street level archer fighter, because he's highlighting his origin, which was surviving on an island and actually being a literal hunter, being a bow hunter, right? Yeah. Like he was a longbow hunter on this island.
I love that there's a bit of this story where he super downplays like it's basically the story of year one. The comic book is in this one page, double page spread.
Yeah.
And he's basically like, yeah, there were some guys that were like stopped there to smoke marijuana or something, and I caught them.
They were high on shrooms,
and that was it.
The media like blew it up because he's a wealthy playboy that was thought dead, and he stopped like drug dealers. So they made him a mythological person in the press, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. Also, as part of this flashback, I love this image of Roy shooting up heroin just immediately in front of Ollie, like right in front of him.
And is Ollie?
No.
Why is he dressed up like a priest?
Ollie walks in and it's happening. I don't know why they're zoomed in like that.
Well, I just like that image. He's just right up on him watching it happen. It's pretty great.
It's a classic cover of Green Arrow.
Also getting the stock ticker.
Yeah.
It's just everything's so dated. Everything's so dated.
Hilarious.
Oh, my stocks are down. Oh.
Well, so he's having the whole point of the conversation though is that he's lost his edge and he's going to shift back to being more of a hunter, and he wants to but the city will be his jungle, so to speak, and he'll be, he's shifting to deciding to like be more of a, get his edge back, so to speak. I love that Dana comes. Dana, I always say Dina.
First of all, can
Dinah. I know
it's Dinah.
Everyone that's yelling at me every time I say it wrong.
It's Dinah. But first of all, can we look at this
like my entire life? So it's really hard for my brain to.
This is her reintroduction as Black Canary. Is that little tight little
button? Well, so
it's
not her reintroduction as Black Canary. It's her reintroduction as you want to have sex in this Black Canary costume, because that's all she's put that on for. Yeah. She came down to be like, "Hey, you want to fuck? This still fits."
Another quick Black Canary question. This is non-vocal scream Dinah Drake, right? This isn't Dinah Lance who has powers, or which one is this?
I think
Dinah
it's
Lance.
Dinah Lance.
She just doesn't have her powers right now.
She doesn't have her powers.
Doesn't she have her powers? She just doesn't have powers.
Something about, I think, so they kind of like, I think they barely touch on it in this, but in a separate book, she got injured or something in the neck or like her throat, and then she couldn't use her powers or something like that. I think later on she heals or gets them back somehow. I mean, whatever. It's comic books. They give her powers back, but I don't remember. I didn't like read a lot of Green Arrow back then. So
this is her with powers, but temporarily.
Temporarily in this period in time, they took her powers away just to make her more interesting, I think, as a character.
Okay.
But like, it was an injury, and then later on she gets fixed or whatever. So, or gets them back somehow. I don't know. Or maybe they just shittily wrote it and they go like, she has powers again when it's inexplicable. I don't know. But for this period of time, she does not have powers, or the voice power.
Yeah, that would make sense though, because she's tied up later and she's awake, and I feel like you just scream at them.
Oh no, yeah, she doesn't have. Yeah,
she definitely does not have powers here.
She's just the Batman, like Batgirl type hero right now. She just beats people up, and
but so during this issue, so now of course, as she's Black Canary, they have hot sex, and while they have hot steaming sex, another prostitute is murdered, and they have a discussion where Ollie reveals that he wants to have children, and Dinah says, I don't want to have kids because with our lifestyle it doesn't really work, that we put our lives on the line every night.
He basically just flat out goes like, "Hey, let's get married. Let's have kids. I want to have kids with you." And she's like, "No, like it's not in my cards right now. Like I don't know. I appreciate that. Again, this relationship discussion is interesting to me because it's.
Well, they come back to this at the very end of the story arc. We're always like, "Oh yeah, what you said makes total sense. I'm stupid."
Yeah, it's basically like we're both heroes. Like. I wouldn't. She basically says very flatly, like, I'm not, or bluntly rather, like, I'm not. It's not that I don't want to have children with you. It's not that I don't love you. It's just that I don't think we should get married and have children because I don't want to. I would love to raise kids with you. I don't want to raise orphans with you. Meaning like one of us is going to go out one night and not come back.
Yeah, this is
the reality of the situation, and neither of us. She's like, let's be honest. Neither of us are going to stop what we're doing. So like, it's just gonna. It's inevitable. Like one of us won't make it back one night or something like that.
Yeah, and so the exact line is, I love you, Oliver, and I'd love to make babies with you, but I won't make orphans.
Yeah, and I think that's incredibly reasonable.
And this is what because I feel like we've mostly been talking about Grell's art, but I think his dialogue honestly reads pretty well and pretty naturally, as it doesn't feel crazy dated or forced. Like these are discussions that seem like two mature people in a relationship would be having. They don't feel hokey or comics-y.
I think that's why it doesn't feel dated. Yeah, it feels like a serious conversation that an actual couple would have, and it's not written in a dumb way. And again, like, because he's writing for himself to draw it, I think he allows the pacing to be like, he can pause and just show one of their faces and they say a line and then and move on. Like, it's not like, oh, let's make these all little panels on a page because we only have 22 pages in this issue. Like, we got to go. It's more like, I have time. There's time for the story to breathe. So like, I know we haven't mentioned this yet, but Grell will randomly draw a very sketchy,
detailed,
very detailed but sketchy version. It's not a finished art piece.
I think it works well for the art.
Yeah, but there's no real rhyme or reason to it. I would say, like, it kind of just randomly happens sometimes, but sometimes it's for a specific line.
I feel like he does it for like specific emotional beats because he does it. He does it with her here, and then he does it with Green Arrow when she's being tortured, and he does it with the guy who's torturing Black Canary. I'm sure he does it more often than that, but those were like the three that I really remembered, where it's kind of like it's like a pretty serious story beat is happening when he does that.
Yeah, because I think basically we're talking. Let me for the
that's
viewers on YouTube. It's this kind of black and white sketch, and I think what he's trying to display is like this is a transparent emotional state. There's no color. There's no. It's just you're directly seeing the character's emotional expression. Again,
and writing for yourself to draw it, I think that's what allows that to be free and happen. You know, where it's not like it's the conversation is not speeding to the next action piece. It's allowing the conversation to be serious and be listened to sort of by the reader.
And one more point I want to make about this conversation they're having in bed is earlier we mentioned how this was kind of a grittier reimagining of Green Arrow as fighting street crimes and this and that. And in here, they're really talking about this, again, in the context of the danger of having kids and like whether they might die or not. You know, Ollie mentions like this is stuff we've been doing for a long time, but then they bring up that crime is different than when we first started. Like these are not petty burglars and just bank robbers. This is serious crime. I think it's Black Canary has this line. There's a different breed. There's a different breed on the streets these days. They're not hunters. They're predators.
Yeah, they kill to cover up a robbery.
So again, she's setting up. This is a more dangerous criminal. The stakes are higher. And Grell is kind of setting up this transition of Green Arrow into this like street crime fighter that he's going out to go after this, you know, dangerous new breed of street crime that's sweeping America in the 80s.
It was a dangerous time. I do like the brief panel of Ollie kind of making new arrows, and then there's trash cans just filled with dumb arrow, like the boxing glove and the boomerang arrow are like broken and bent and shoved into a trash can, and he's like honing his new arrow, and then he's practicing in the yard.
Yeah, and the arrow he does look at that's honed is just a traditional sharp arrowhead, right? So this is him going back to the basics of being a longbow hunter.
Longbow.
But we do also see a different longbow hunter murder somebody.
Yeah, him practicing in the yard with a traditional target is juxtaposed against the first murder by shadow.
It's almost a little bit confusing of like an optical illusion because he's shooting the arrow. The way the panels are structured, he's shooting.
Yeah, I think it's meant to be that way because he's going I'm going to be serious and more grand. I'm going to take care of these criminals, and then the next panel is just like an arrow shooting through someone's chest. Yeah,
because
holy shit!
Because this is a little bit of sort of undramatic irony, you know, where the reader doesn't know more, but I think this is specifically saying like who is murdering these people. Look at all. I mean, Ollie is sharpening arrows.
There's a cool. I mean, it's not so subtle because it's shown multiple times, but I really love I love how her arrowheads look a very specific way instead of hit. So like every time,
and the fletchings too. The fletchings are different too.
Yeah, they're not only just a different color; they're drawn differently. Like the fletchings that he uses are different than hers. Hers are longer and like white, and his are sharper and like green, you know, and shorter and green. I like it. It's cool.
Yeah, and then we do this same issue in just a few more pages. We get introduced to the new look Green Arrow, the hooded vigilante new Green Arrow.
Yeah.
As he accosts some street hoods,
some robbers,
some street hoods, and
he is pretty brutal. He is pretty brutal, though. Yeah. He shoots one through the hand and one through the earlobe.
No, this is very Dark Knight Returns.
I did like because it is very Batman-esque, but the comedy of him flipping the arrow that's in the guy's earlobe.
Oh, it's great.
It's kind of like it's funny because it's fun because you can tell it's probably super painful for the guy.
Yeah,
but like that's something Batman would never do. Like Batman would never do.
He wouldn't play around with the guys.
Yeah. Like I thought that was a fun character beat of like Green Arrow kind of being like Batman, but also still retaining.
I love that he shoots. So he shoots one guy between the legs, and it's like right below his dick, basically.
Yeah.
And then as he's leaving, he shoots him again, and it splits the arrow. So like the guy's just oh shit. And then he passes out. There's little fun scenes like that where it's like, this is pretty fun.
And I like also when he flicks the arrow in the ear, the guy just goes, ow, 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 ow. You know, just goes, ow,
yeah.
Ow. You know, it's kind of like
there's a lot of there. I mean, this isn't there yet, but like there's a lot of really cool shots too, where although he's wounding people and not killing them with the arrows, he's doing like, for instance, they'll be holding a gun, but it's not just like he shoots the hand. He'll shoot the hand into the shoulder, like he pins their hand to their shoulder with the arrow or something like crazy, and they're shooting the gun at the same time. We're like, that's fucking cool. There's like little beats like that where like, that's a crazy fucking shot. Like how would, you'd have to time that fucking perfectly to like hit their hand into their shoulder and drop the gun at the same time. So it's like little subtle things like that just heighten his skill level.
Yeah.
Instead of going like boxing glove arrow, boomerang arrow, crap like that, which is really fun.
Yeah, and so basically he attacks these street hoods to try to find out who's murdering prostitutes, and he finds out that there's a quote unquote tunnel rat doing all this. Yeah. And then the next
from Vietnam, from the Nam.
And then the next page is kind of cool because we get a quick preview of kind of who the big bads are. There's these corporate types who are talking about a snooper looking into their stuff, being the Green Arrow. But I think
it's Dinah, isn't it?
Snoopers. Oh, is this
Dinah?
Yeah. But I do like
Green Arrow is focused on the killer. Dinah's focused on the drugs.
But the scene shift to the police interrogating the hoods that Green Arrow kind of interrogated. And I like how Grell shows the bad guy is describing Green Arrow as the scary,
like scary
looking thing, and then this old lady is describing him as a heroic Robin Hood.
Yeah, Errol Flynn. Yeah, I love it. I thought that was really cool.
So I like the contrast of
and then just the smiling police officer taking the descriptions in between, like him going, okay, kind of like.
Yeah. But I like the
little beats like that are great.
But I like the contrast to sort of to innocent people he's a hero, and to the villains he's scary. Again, very a Batman-esque.
Yeah,
construct.
Very much so,
yeah. Okay, so Green Arrow investigates the tunnel rat, and he finds out.
So is this real though? Is there like literally is Seattle built over?
I think it's like underground Atlanta. Yeah.
Seattle famously was built above old Seattle.
Oh damn! I did not know that at all. Yeah. So there's a whole other city underneath Seattle.
No, it's not like that elaborate. I think it's like it's maybe
more there's a few blocks.
Underground Atlanta is a few blocks, so I feel like it's more than that, but like not too much more.
But you could actually, a side note for anybody who goes to Seattle, they have tours where you can go tour underground Seattle.
Maybe I should do that if I ever go back to Seattle.
Dude, London has like catacombs. Like that city's been built on top of itself like 10 times.
That's too dark.
You know what I mean? Like there's people that like go down there and just like
I'm not gonna go down that road. You don't want to go down that road.
Yeah. No, but underground Seattle, in fact, if you've ever seen, what was that? Malignant? I think Malignant, that movie features underground Seattle.
I don't think I saw that.
Well,
it's like
if you ever see Malignant,
maybe
you'll know what I mean.
Does something comes out of the kid's mouth? Does something come out of the kid's mouth?
No, so the lady in the back of her head has a conjoined evil twin, but but that evil twin also gives her superpowers, and by the end of the movie, the twin is gone and she just has superpowers. So it's like a weird superhero origin story.
Oh, weird.
But that's
kind of like The Boys. Ashley had that power in the last season. Terrible season.
I'm only 2 episodes in. Don't talk about it.
But there's a Malignant? Okay, but apparently there's a Malignant in it.
Yeah, that's what Ashley's power is. She's got a twin.
I have seen that part.
Minds, yeah.
I love that the tunnel rat guy from Vietnam who's killing all these prostitutes is just keeping his press clippings like up on the wall. Like he puts his identity.
I know he's very proud of it.
It's very, especially if you're hiding from the law.
Back to the very first prostitute he ever killed in fucking Vietnam. Like he has that newspaper clipping up on the wall. It's like Chicago creeper confuses coppers. Killer stalks at underground Atlanta. And then prostitute slain in Cologne district.
And then also the other thing is throughout these newspaper clippings of horrible murders he's done is his Purple Heart and like Medal of Honor.
Yeah. That's
so
an interesting
the
touch.
picture of him, though, as you can see, is like 3 Vietnam vets. Well, in the military. Well, vets, but in Vietnam still. But he has like classically one of those stories you hear about from Vietnam where they would like cut the ears off of people and put it on a necklace.
Wow, those are ears. Holy shit.
Yeah, so like it's like basically Green Arrow is like, well, that's the guy. It's not these other two. Yeah. It's this one that loves killing.
Definitely the one on the right. Yeah.
I did not make that out at all when I read this, and I read it twice. There was
I think that, again, I think that's like a common. I don't know how common it was, but that was like at least I understood what that was immediately because I knew that story of like Vietnam people in Vietnam.
Because I just looked at it. Yeah.
Necklaces.
Well, I don't know if it's common, but I know for a fact that in Universal Soldier, Dolph Lundgren played the villain, and in Vietnam, he had an ear necklace.
Dolph Lundgren, by the way, also He-Man.
Dolph Lundgren also responsible for Patrick's sexual awakening.
Happened when I was 5. I watched that scene when I was 5 years old. Ellen.
Yeah,
Ellen.
Okay, make it that. But
I mean, Patrick doesn't mean anything, so did I.
Okay, but so yes. Okay. Bringing us back, this tunnel rat. Who's
I think we've just
figured
something out for society.
I think we did. Yeah. I was born this way.
Can you imagine though if scientists come out and they're like, it turns out gays aren't born that way. It's Dolph Lundgren. It's specifically Dolph Lundgren in the 80s.
It depends on when you see him and what state of mind you're in.
Yeah, but the scientists are like, if we can only hide Dolph Lundgren from the world,
we could just stop. We got to get rid of all of his movies.
But so back to this.
I love yeah. Sorry.
So he's hiding from the world, but has just like I am the villain posted.
Well, yeah, but he also doesn't think like no one's gonna. To Patrick's point of London catacombs, like no one's gonna fucking go down there. It's horrifying. Like he finds it comforting because he's like used to crawling through the tunnels in fucking Vietnam and gutting people and taking their ears. But like no one else is going down into the fucking underground Seattle to find him. Like they don't know he's like some people on the street have like heard of some creepy dude living down there, or maybe they see him come out of sewers sometimes or whatever, but they don't know, I buy it. If you're making a little nest, a little home in underground Seattle, I don't know. You have some pictures of your family or your past kills on the wall. It's fine.
Making it cozy.
I mean, so again, this I was going to mention this earlier, but like I kind of did, I guess. But I love that Green Arrow, although he is intimidating and really good with an arrow, he gets his ass kicked quite a bit. He's not that great.
First of all, he talks shit. He's like, "Oh, this guy's only a size 7, tiny guy."
Yeah, and then he gets smacked on the back of the head, and the guy lights the place on fire, and he almost dies. He barely gets out of there. And it's not like heroic where he's like. Wakes up and the fire's happening and he's like, oh shit, let me run out of here and I'll chase that guy down. He stumbles up out of the underground, barely conscious, like, barely capable of doing anything.
He's legit stumbling around.
While the guy is like walking straight towards a prostitute, streetwalker, sex worker.
Yeah, also this
I'm struggling for the real word.
But also the serial killer, it's wild that he goes from, oh, somebody found my lair to I'll knock him out and burn my lair, and immediately I'm just gonna
goes up onto the street to kill someone. Yeah. It's like he can't even stop. Anyway, I love that Shadow in this moment has her actual target in sight and then chooses to kill the killer guy first and then turns and kills. Like she's like, I guess I'll help that person first. I think there's little moments like that make Green Arrow not like make him trust her, but not like maybe not consider her to be like a villain. They have a very gray relationship throughout this book. So I guess what I'm saying, but I think it starts right here where she chose to kill the murderer first and then murder the guy that she was there to murder, versus like going like, well, let me take care of what I'm here for first. Like she turns and shoots that guy.
Also, it's just a cool, I don't know. It's a cool way to unify because this issue has these two streams of the the prostitute serial killer or the whore, what's the PC term?
Whore.
The whore serial killer. And the Robin Hood killer, and this issue just ends with kind of like neatly unifying those threads into Shadow killing the serial killer and killing her target.
Yeah, but like classic. I guess it's the classic like inner monologue. He's like, "Oh God, I'm too late. I'm too slow. Kill him. Shoot!" And he's like trying to get his arrow up in time, but then an arrow just pierces him.
Also, Shadow classically wearing the Maison Margiela Tabi shoes.
Oh, she's a badass. Dude. Are you kidding? Look at her costume. Fucking.
She does look
amazing right now. She's so badass. She comes back during that. Again, I keep calling it the Kevin Smith run, but he really just started it. I don't even remember who wrote it after him. Anyway, during that run of the book, like she's in there somewhere. I just don't remember when and why. But I think maybe when she came up, that's why I was like, oh, I want to see where that came from. And I went back and read it. Maybe that's what made me read this. Yeah. Anyway, really badass scene. She murders her guy and murders the murderer. And for some reason, Ollie has his hat on, inexplicably. Because he hasn't been wearing it all. He just randomly has a hat on and it's gone. Not really sure what that's about. Never wears it again. Don't get it. I don't get it. Mike Grell, could you please explain this one panel to me? Because it's very good. Just randomly pulls his hat out to be like, let me analyze this arrow. And then for the rest of the book, never puts it back on. Nor was he wearing it 5 seconds beforehand.
Okay, so real quick, back to Connor Hawke.
That's a good, right where I just stopped talking is a perfect place to be like, in issue 2.
During the later issues of the Dixon Green Arrow run, they identified Connor's mother as Sandra Moonday Hawke, a flighty ex-hippie who had reportedly been one of many conquests of a young Oliver Queen. Now, back to Patrick's point, there's been a lot of confusion about Shadow being Connor's mom through just kind of throughout time. One reason is because of a Wizard magazine issue, which identified Connor's first appearance in comics being in Green Arrow Volume 2, number 24, which was actually the first appearance of Shadow's infant son, who was not Connor. So that's that confusion. And then later in Birds of Prey 109, Barbara Gordon identifies Shadow as Connor Hawke's mother, but writer Tony Bedard acknowledged that that was an error on his part and not canon. So there has been confusion even within
maybe that's why I'm
comics of who Connor Hawke's mom is, but it is technically Sandra.
I feel like there's an arc where, if I'm not mistaken, I feel like there's an arc where Connor is like, who is my mom? And he's like trying to figure it out with Ollie or something. And Shadow's in it, maybe. And I think that's why I'm confusing that.
So I think the real, we've been talking a lot about sex workers. The real slut is Oliver Queen. He is the one
of course.
You
know how Bruce Wayne's a millionaire playboy?
He's a whore.
Yeah. Oliver Queen is literally a millionaire playboy.
Yeah. Okay, but so the end of this issue ends. Also, it ends on a weirdly sort of tragic note of Ollie is doing this voiceover of sometimes the killers are never caught, maybe they're jailed, blah blah blah. And in the meantime, we're seeing the prostitute that Shadow saved getting a knife drawn on her by her own pimp.
And then the police, at least the newspapers, tie that with the slasher killer. So they go like, the death toll's at 20 now, and it's unrelated.
But it ends on kind of this tragic note that even though they stopped the serial killer, injustice doesn't.
She still got murdered.
Stop, Because again, cities are whores, murder, AIDS, crack.
Stay in the suburbs. Don't venture into the city. Yeah, unless you're a big, strong man.
But that's Longbow Hunters number 1.
Maybe if Green Arrow lives there, you'd be fine. Possibly.
Maybe.
I mean, if you get accosted on the street, you might break someone's pinky.
He got knocked out by a size 7, Joe. Let's be honest.
That's not very big.
A tiny little guy.
Not little guy size, that's for sure.
But that was issue number 1, and now we're on to issue 2 of the Longbow Hunters, Dragon Hunt.
Her tattoo is
Dragon being Shadow. Yeah, by the way, I'm getting that tattoo. That's
the tattoo's pretty awesome.
You shouldn't get that if you're not affiliated with the Japanese mob.
I've been waffling on a dragon tattoo for a long time. That's the one. I'm gonna get it all the way down my arm.
Okay.
I'm gonna get the Dragon of the Darkness flame from Yu Yu Hakusho on mine.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
That would be pretty bad.
You want to get our dragon tattoos at the same time, Patty?
We should.
Okay.
Maybe I'll do that tattoo and the Dragon Ball Z dragon, and maybe
okay.
I'll get a Kurama Rose Whip tattoo to match.
I was thinking about starting slow and doing the shoulder first, and then the next visit getting like the bicep, and then the next visit getting the rest of the dragon. You got to split it up.
That could work.
Do it all at once.
Yeah,
you can't do it all at once.
That'd be insane.
It's a giant sleeve.
It gets super painful.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do
I'm a baby. I wouldn't be able to take it for that long.
Or I'm gonna do a giant portrait of Dolph Lundgren as He-Man on my back.
But make sure the cape. Make sure he's wearing the cape.
The whip.
He was famously embarrassed of his tushy in those little leather shorts.
Wait, what? Is that real?
Yeah, you don't know that story. You know how He-Man doesn't wear a cape. He's walking around in a cape that entire movie because he's embarrassed.
Of his butt?
Little leather shorts, yeah.
Wow.
Dolph Lundgren is famously embarrassed to be dressed as He-Man. He thought it was silly, and then he insisted on the cape so he could have something around him a little bit.
He didn't. I do know that he didn't speak any English at that point, so he didn't know what he was saying. So his acting, he didn't really know what the words were that he was saying, what they meant.
Yeah.
He was just saying English words. Anyway, good times. I'm going to Google that tomorrow. I'm going to read up all about.
Okay.
Let's
talk about this issue 2.
All right, issue 2. We get some cool Shadow backstory juxtaposed against, I guess, more of the villains of the story are boring, I would say, in almost a cool way.
Well, again, going back to how 80s this comic is, and I know we've made fun of prostitutes, crack, AIDS, all that, but also Iran-Contra, is a very
also
80s
the bad guys are literally just rich old men that are trying to run the world and doing crimes.
Not even rich old men who run the world. They're just CIA operatives skimming off the top, right?
Well, one's a CIA operative. He's not skimming off the top. He's causing he's sending money to destabilize nations across the world. He's just using drug runners to get the money there.
Yeah, and one of them is just a kind of criminal.
Yeah, one of them is just an old rich man that stole money from a Yakuza and now being hunted down. It's fine.
And then we also get this also feels a little bit Batman-y, but the Green Arrow Commissioner Gordon discussion in the police office.
I kind of love the police officer or sheriff.
I do too.
I love how Green Arrow is
completely inept. He's horrible at his job.
But he's not, I don't know, but he's inept in not an incompetent way, and sort of
he's inept in a way of I don't give a fuck if I solve this crime kind of way.
That's right. It's more in a jaded way than an I'm actively incompetent way.
Mm-hmm.
It's more just sort of really? You're going to tell me more about this? Let me
But also empty threats of why don't I fucking run you in, you fucking piece of shit? Kind of thing. There's a lot of 80s cops show in these interactions.
But also I get it from his perspective because a hooded green Robin Hood man is telling him that there's another Arrow assassin killing people in this town.
It makes zero sense.
Yeah.
I think the unspoken BS answer to that is that he kind of knows that Green Arrow is a hero and has done things that. The idea of Green Arrow being
he knows Green Arrow's on it. He doesn't have to worry about it anymore. I don't think, because I love this bit. I love it so much because he shows up and the police officer's like, Green Arrow goes, "I just thought you'd be interested. I can tell you something about the Robin Hood killer." And then the cop goes, "So entertain me." And then Green Arrow gives this long spiel about the arrow she uses and where it's from and why it's this, why it's probably a woman, not a man. Blah, 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 blah. And then he finishes and the cop goes, "We knew all that." while he's sipping his coffee out of the styrofoam cup. We already knew all that.
I like that. I like, but yeah, but Green Arrow. Well, Ollie's like, sure you did. Anyway,
we knew all that.
I do like that Ollie's has one of her arrows and just casually chucks it onto his desk while he's sitting there, and he's like, God damn it! So I gotta pretend like that didn't bother me. I'm just gonna casually put my cigarette out.
Yeah, but in this kind of back and forth, we do get some details about the people behind the scenes, like that they don't have military records and all that, which later, we don't have to go into the details, but later it helps solve the crime.
There's nothing connecting the Robin Hood killers, and we find out later that the CIA had basically been like watching the records of these individuals. So the connection is there. They just couldn't find it. This is what I was talking about with the green, like the shadow coming down, like the pointed shadow of the hood connecting the mask is like one of my favorite Green Arrow like visuals. It's the perfect Green Arrow mask. I don't know why they've ever done anything differently.
My one complaint about the costume is I don't like the big G on the belt.
Well, honestly, he's had bigger G's on his belt. That's
I know, but I'd rather not.
Also, I love that the hood isn't like, it doesn't come down and just like fasten at his neck. It like it's like the whole tunic and it goes down the front.
Yeah,
it's really cool. Anyway, the way this costume is designed is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely better than just a Robin Hood hat.
I want it to be like like a slightly modernized version of this would be spectacular.
That's we get that eventually.
Do we?
In time.
Do we?
I feel like we do.
Nah.
I feel like we get there.
Not with these masks. Not with this mask. Not with the shadow of the point of the hood. Is it masks? Because it's two separate eye masks? Or is it mask?
I think it's just individual. Like,
it's a two-part mask?
Do you think when he talks to people, he uses an iPhone screen just to make sure like the angle's right? You know, he just has to angle the light.
Yeah, he's always like,
make sure
if he's talking to someone on FaceTime, he's just
he's like, I've got to make sure the point.
It's like that. I think you should leave skit where he's got the cigar on the window. And
you got to be right there. You got to be right at the right angle.
Just like that.
If you move,
I gotta find some way to make money out of this. It's such a good idea. Anyway, yeah, the cop conversation's fun. I love how the random chick police officer walks in and she's like, "Hey, Lieutenant, we just got a report on a homicide on the docks. A guy with an arrow. Oh shit!" Out because he's literally in his office talking to a guy with arrows on his back. It's just, I don't know why that was so funny to me, but I was like cracking up at that. Jesus Christ.
And then she does check out Ollie's butt. She goes,
his buns are mentioned later by Shadow herself.
Yeah, he's got
in a very bad disguise.
Well, we also get so then Green Arrow goes home and he finds a note from Dinah saying, "I've gone undercover. I'm going to be gone for a while." And then we get a panel of Ollie's butt, just straight up. Here it is.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not very well drawn, but it's definitely isn't.
I can also going back to the 80s.
It's realistic. I feel like that's what he'd look like based on everything else he's drawn.
But also going back to the 80s-ness of this, I can just hear like a Blade Runner noir soundtrack in this. As he's just alone looking out the window.
You can hear it coming in the air tonight.
Well, I can hear that too. But as he's just alone, just alone without Dinah.
I gotta say, Ollie, I think, is a natural blonde, and if you guys haven't been paying attention, his chest hair, his armpit hair is blonde.
It's all blonde.
Yeah, and for it to be that. To be that noticeably blonde, how much hair he must have in his armpits on his chest for that much blonde hair to be like that visible.
Again, it's very 80s.
This thing is very hairy. He's a very hairy man.
Of the 80s was a very normal thing.
It's also his pits. In the last issue, when he's in bed with Dinah and talking about having kids, his pits are like. It's like fucking.
Yeah. It's also on the very next page where he's sad because Dinah's not in the bed with him.
Well, just imagine what if his bush was like 12 inches high?
It's got to be. It has to be. Logically speaking, it must be.
I mean, he's an blonde bush. He's an old man in quotes in the 1988 era. Like he's definitely got a bush.
Yeah.
He's definitely got a butt. He's not manscaping down there. Are you kidding me? You don't rock that much chest hair without having a happy trail all the way down.
But so he's taking people to a bar. So there's a bar called Mother's.
Mothers, I love Mothers.
Right, this bar here is just called.
I mean,
Mothers.
it does say Mothers.
We're going to Mothers. It's going to be off the chain.
But you can't see the.
We're gonna get drunk at Mothers.
Mothers.
You can't see the start or end of the sign. Though. I feel like it's Mothers something, like Mother's Diner. Or
no, I think it's just Mothers.
It could just be
Mothers.
Mothers. We're going to Mothers.
Also, another thing you've got.
You can get chowder for lunch there, though.
I was going to say one thing you got to know about Mothers is they offer a chowder lunch.
I love another dumb thing that I love about this though is that he's driving around in the in
an
like
old-timey car,
an old-timey green van.
It's green, of course.
But it's the Sherwood Florist delivery truck, like for delivering flowers.
Right.
But also he like bursts out of the back of it as Green Arrow like 3 pages later, and you're just like, Jesus Christ, dude, that's like the worst disguised truck ever.
I think at this
like,
point in
Green
time,
Arrow's in the car.
Yeah, I think he's barely
Sherwood
hiding
Forest.
his identity.
I'm dressed in green. It's green. I'm Green Arrow. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll figure it out pretty fast.
I'm also the Green Power Ranger.
Oh, the chalk outline of the on the ground with an arrow drawn also is my favorite. I think it's my favorite panel.
Stupid.
Yeah, the arrow.
It's not the chalk outline of the body with like a blood stain. It's the chalk outline of a body with an arrow pointing through both ends of the body. It's by far my favorite panel of the entire book.
Another panel I like is that when he bursts out and climbs up to the rooftop because he's tracing this almost assassination, and he just kind of like, oh hi,
hey, you're here.
And she kind of lowers her bow as well, as kind of like, oh, you're here as well, you know. And it's just kind of funny. We're both here. We're both here on this rooftop.
It's pretty cool. He's got this like, again, I think his hesitation here, at least. She obviously does not wish to kill him, and she says so later. She's like, I could have killed you 100 fucking times. You're really bad at the job. But like, you know, I think there's again one, it's respect for somebody that can shoot like her, like just archer to archer. I feel like he's like, all right, you're pretty good. I gotta admit, I couldn't. I think he says it before this, but he says something like, I couldn't even have made that shot. That was an amazing shot.
Well, they're both longbowmen, right? They both just appreciate.
But there's respect, but also again, I think it has more to do with that. I think it's like him sensing that although she is killing people, it might be for a reason that he doesn't yet understand, and the fact that she saved the prostitute from the actual murderer earlier and then murdered the guy she was there to kill. I think it changes how he thought of her as a killer. You know?
Well, another art note I like is, so her costume, so his costume, like we talked about, is kind of eye paint and then the hood. Hers is just a face mask. But I like the visual here of the contrast between his masked expression and her just very transparent, calm.
She's very tranquil and calm the entire book.
But I like the contrast of, you know, it shows Green Arrow's frustration and this kind of hunting down a mystery and being behind the 8 ball and the stress of trying to get the killers, juxtaposed with her just like cold vengeance, like surface level.
I don't even think it's cold. I don't even think.
I think she's just calm and
passionate.
composed.
It's just, this is my job. It's not. It's matter of fact.
Well, sure, but that's what I like that art note of the contrast of their stares.
She's very much just, it's her job, you know.
You know, I feel like and again, I remember where she popped up in that later Green Arrow run very, very little. But like, I feel like my impression of her, anytime she's ever been brought up since this, has never been written well or done well. And I could be wrong about that. I don't remember very well, but I remember kind of being like, oh, that doesn't really feel like that character to me. Or like, that's weird. I don't feel like she would have done that, or that kind of thing, based on how well she's written in this story. But again, maybe I'm misremembering that. But that's the impression I get from her later on. But like, or from my own memory, that is. But anyway, this is a pretty cool scene. I like it.
I like this little action beat of kind of she shoots an arrow past him, he dive rolls, the arrow just kind of goes past him and kills the guy. As I don't know, I just like how she's able to basically draw like multiple arrows
past him to kill the guy while the arrow's still in the air and he's rolling. She's already shot.
She shoots another arrow, right? But the arrow, the second arrow isn't a deadly arrow.
Yeah, it's the one it's the little 2-pronged one that cuts the string, and I thought that was fucking awesome. And then when he runs up to hit her with his bow like a bat, like a baseball bat, she just fucking lays him out. Like I'm just like, good job.
But I just like the calmness with which she just kind of owns him in this. Like in the time it takes you to draw a single arrow, I've shot twice and snipped your bowstring.
But the panels in between of the arrow arcing up and then the arrow arcing down and then the arrow arcing down further. I love that because then because while that arrow is going through the air the entire time, this whole scene plays out. And it ends with that original arrow puncturing her target. Which I was like, that's so well laid out. Like while this fight is happening, that arrow is in the air going towards the killer her target rather. Really good.
Which is, I guess he's the Reverend. They never really made that clear. I'm assuming he's the Reverend they speak about because he's talking about Jesus.
Because he's talking about Jesus and judgment. And all that.
Oh, I have no idea. Honestly, I stopped paying attention to who she was killing. I just knew they were all connected.
They're all connected.
Yeah, I was just like, they're all connected to that thing.
And then Ollie kind of works all this out of his system by taking a bath.
A nice bath. Looks like a nice bath.
And like, but this is that scene where we kind of get to almost see his junk when he jumps out. We get to
see his ball sack. Those are probably his balls, right? It's not his dick.
I don't think
it's the sack.
But it could be.
If it's his dick, it's like he's definitely got a chode for a dick.
No, it's the sack.
I don't know. I don't know.
Probably a sack, I would say.
Not from where that should be. Maybe it is his dick. No, it's a sack. He's an old man. It's a sack.
It's a sack, yeah.
I don't know, but it's amazing.
Look at that.
Maybe the fact that we have something to analyze this closely and be like, is that his fucking balls?
But he jumps out because he's hearing a radio TV. It's a radio TV. It's both a TV and a radio.
It's just a TV.
Yeah, it's a TV.
But it's thin like a radio.
It's a
what?
It looks like a radio TV. It's thin like a radio, but it's a tiny TV.
It's a little television that people would put in their bathrooms and stuff.
Okay, well,
do you guys remember the 80s? No, he also plays computerized chess later in this.
He's rich. This guy's rich.
He plays computerized chess later, which I thought was really, which was hilarious because it was like in the rich guy's office, like, like this. Only people that are rich have computer chess.
Yeah.
Or by the way, not chess that you play on a screen like a computer. I mean, like a chessboard with a little computer built on the side of the board. You have to watch. Just go. I don't. There's a lot of brands of them, but I'm pretty sure the main one was called computerized chess. Just look it up. Okay. It's amazingly dated.
But so whether he's looking at a radio or a TV or both. Yeah.
It's a fucking TV. What are you talking about? There's a screen and sound is coming out of it. It's a TV.
Joe, we could litigate this 12 ways to Tuesday if you want. We don't know whether it's a TV
There's a rabbit
or
ear
a
coming
radio
out of the top of the fucking television.
We don't know whether it's a radio or a TV or both. But whatever he's looking at has a screen and is shaped like a radio. And it tells him that there's been drug-related deaths on the waterfront where Dinah was investigating. And
oh my God. The full sign. It's called My Mother's.
No. Edit that out. Patrick, edit that out. It's called Mother's.
It's called My Mother's.
It's just called Mother's.
You son of a bitch.
My Mother, is that the place that has the chowder special for lunch?
Yeah, that's the chowder special. So I love this scene because, like, one, Ollie's street clothes are fucking hilarious. But also the sunglasses, they're well rendered.
I don't know how to describe his street clothes other than leather bathrobe.
I mean, it's
kind
a
of
jacket.
But it looks like a bathrobe.
He's wearing jeans. No, it's got that
does kind of like biker
jacket. It looks like a leather bathrobe.
Well, it's a baggy 80s leather jacket for sure.
The guy's got a vial. The guy's got a vial of cocaine around his little
spoon. Little spoon.
Oh my god.
Also, another '80s note. But do y'all remember when bartenders wore ties? Remember the good old days?
Good old days.
Don't do that anymore.
People used to, dress up on the airplanes and stuff.
Yeah,
you go back to those days.
But he does have a cocaine vial and a little cocaine spoon.
Yeah, he's got a little spoon.
Yeah.
Attached to the bottle, which I think that's just convenient.
Yeah, you don't want to lose it.
Yeah, it's on the chain.
How would you do the cocaine then?
I don't know. I just think it's a very well thought out bottle. It's actually a shitload of cocaine too, because that's
a lot of cocaine.
It's like a medicine bottle.
It's not a little bit. Yeah. No. Yeah. But so this bartender tells him about a guy named Magnor Shipping, who's one of the main bad guys.
Yeah.
And so Green Arrow goes to his warehouse, and we get a cool little. I mean, this is just like cool superhero stuff. Green Arrow's. A crane looking over.
It's funny you're bringing that up because the very last scene, spoilers for the Longbow Hunters, is Shadow shoots Magnor through the chest. And she's standing on that crane inexplicably. And I was like, what the fuck? That's convenient. And then I was like, and then I flipped back and went, oh yeah, I was already there. I said earlier. Also, his warehouse is like on the pier with like a big shipping crane outside of it. So it's like, it's very normal. It's not just like a set piece that they did just so he could be near the window. Yeah. Like it's very established. I'm just saying. But when I got to the last scene, I was like, really? Just a crane sitting outside the window? You didn't think to watch out for that?
And one thing I want to talk about Shadow.
Yeah.
Murders dogs.
Yeah.
Which
but also
is
Ollie
doesn't
give a fuck. Ollie doesn't give a fuck about that other dog though.
Well, but he doesn't kill it. He just kind of pushes it off.
Well, I'm not sure if he killed it or not. Like the panels are pretty. It yanked it back by the neck, but a full human man's weight.
Well, he shoved the guy has the leash around his wrist, and Ollie shoves the guy off the pier,
which takes
the dog with him pretty fucking far into the water. Also, it looks like he's going to land on a boat, not the water. So I'm not even sure if that guy's alive.
Well,
we're all concerned about the person he murdered already, or is about to.
The way it's drawn, it looks like they still have a solid like 35 feet to fall before they hit the boat.
Oh, 100%. And it looks like they're going to hit the boat. Like it's not like everyone's all concerned about the fact that he shoots the guy later.
I'm not convinced.
Pretty sure he murdered that guy Adolf, or that guy and his dog Adolf.
Yeah, I'm not.
Also, we don't care about the dog because he's named Adolf.
I'm not convinced the dog isn't already dead. After I think the dog broke its neck when he yanked it off.
Yeah, and then like just fell off.
It's a dead dog falling in the second.
Well, but another interesting note is there's a white dog named Adolf, and then a German Shepherd not named Adolf.
Yeah, that was interesting choice.
Which is like you'd think
we don't know.
Adolf Shepherd would be.
In fairness, we don't know that dog's name.
Adolf Jr.
Maybe Magnor employs all people that like to name their dogs Adolf.
Maybe it could be, or just another not. Maybe it's Joseph Goebbels or another.
Yeah, maybe it's Goebbels.
But okay. So anyway, Shadow kills a dog.
Yeah, Shadow kills a dog, but ties up the dude.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the dude is tied up and alive, and the dog is dead. Very much. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you don't want the dog to bark. I don't know.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
But you could even see like Ollie looking over. Even Ollie's going like, "Oh Jesus, she killed a dog."
He's like, "I don't like this dog killing." Although I just shove a dog and a man off the side of the pier.
I prefer to kill dogs by breaking their necks.
Assuming they hit the water. Assuming. That's
right.
still but like they're not in a great place. Like they might not make it back. They might not be able to get out of the water. What if one of them gets tired? What if the dog like drags the dude down or vice versa? Like he probably. I mean, I don't know.
No, dogs.
That's assuming they hit the water, not the boat. Which I'm pretty sure they hit the boat.
I'm pretty sure he dragged the dog down.
They're both fine. And then we get to this part that I didn't really like how they did Dinah in this.
First of all, I just want to before you get there, I just love this panel of. I mean, for YouTube, I have bits of it on the screen, but this is like a fantastically drawn page.
Yeah. Also throughout all, we haven't really mentioned this, but throughout all of this, we get little vignettes of Shadow's past and her.
Yeah, we kind of mentioned at the beginning of the issue, but like, there's like, you're starting to learn who she is and why she's doing what she's doing. Which I guess to tell everybody what she's doing, her father lost him a lot of money from these assholes, and because he was Yakuza, she has to atone for his honor somehow, for some reason.
Yeah. And she was raised to be a killer bow marksman.
I think it's weird because her father went back and like asked permission to kill himself for his honor.
Well,
and they allowed that. And then for some reason they were like, well, also you have to pay for his honor too, to her. And I was like, well, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well, look, it's honor is pretty important over there.
But I feel like if someone kills themselves over like fucking up, like that's pretty solid.
Doesn't give them.
It's not enough. It's not really enough.
They got to make examples out of these. You can't steal $1 million, $2 million from the
$2 million from the Yakuza. Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, I think one was more the inward family's honor of I'm going to kill myself because I did this. But then, the other angle of it is we have to make sure these people don't get away with it because then they've got to get revenge on the Steelers.
The Yakuza has a long memory, Green Arrow, as you can see. The guy who's torturing Dinah, the black and white.
Yeah, the creepy old man, Alfred Hitchcock.
Like, that must be based on someone real, right? Is it Alfred Hitchcock?
Oh, I was just guessing. No, I just pulled out of my house right now. Nothing
like that. I feel like that image really kind of it's very spooky.
Yeah, it's actually a self-portrait of Mike Grell.
Is it Mike Grell? It could be.
It'd be really funny if it was. I mean, he does. Well, he draws there's a lot of like quote unquote regular people in this as the cast of characters.
Also,
I feel like he does a pretty good job of doing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A lot of them. So like, I don't know. Maybe it is just maybe it's like his dad or something, and he's just like, his dad is a killer.
But this is like friction
in the blood as well. His reflection.
Oh yeah, that's a very well drawn page.
Terrifying.
But again, back to what we said. Like, I think Mike Grell, again, dated whatever. It's a really well drawn book.
Yeah, it's very 80s the way it's drawn, but that doesn't mean it's badly drawn.
But then to set up the scene, so Dinah's basically been brutalized by this guy.
Yeah,
just black eyes, bleeding everywhere. It's bad.
I'm not disagreeing with you. It is definitely bad. But later on, when she's in the hospital, they're like, well, it's mostly superficial. She's just lost a lot of blood. So it seems like he's just like cutting her slowly and fucking enjoying it, which is super fucked up. I'm just saying, and there's a lot of blood on the floor. So like, but that being said, like apparently she just has a shitload of cuts all over her body, and it's not. And he's like, well, he's beat the crap out of her.
But didn't she get? Didn't she get raped by like several men in this group? Wasn't that like
no? I think what he's saying is
I thought this was like very controversial because she was like, I mean, they don't say it. They don't say it outright,
that they're going to.
Yeah,
I don't know if they have already, which is obviously also you could read it that way very easily. I don't think that's. There's one comment he makes where he's like, "Are you finished with your toy yet?" And he goes, "Nah, it's better to make them last." And he's like, Maybe I'll save you a piece or two. And I think, but basically he said, hey, if you want a shot at this, you want to do it now because I'm about to make her like really ugly. Essentially, that's what he says, and that's very fucked up. So like maybe that's implying that it's already happened, Patrick, which is probably what.
I just thought it was like a discussion around this book that she had gone through that. And
if that's true, I don't remember that. But like but that doesn't mean anything. It could easily be.
I mean,
it is kind of like
it's definitely away from that it could have happened.
It's like also away from like a woman in the refrigerator. Like if she had died, this would basically be like a woman in the refrigerator. Like
yes,
you're taking Kyle's a superhero. Yeah, I mean before that storyline, but like you're taking Black Canary.
Yeah, but Fridging is from that storyline.
Fridging is from the Green Lantern storyline.
The Green Lantern.
This is like 10 years.
But you're saying this could have been that moment of that.
Well, I just kind of feel like you like not. I mean, she fucked up and she got caught. Whatever happened. But like Green Arrow coming to save the day, like it very much gave if I'm a fan of Black Canary. It very much gave damsel in distress type energy, is I guess.
Oh, very much. I mean, so a couple of things I want to say. Either way, even implied or not, or even if it didn't happen, sexual assault, she was still like brutalized regardless. I mean, just
100%.
And it's pretty bad. And B, every comic I've ever read, Black Canary is basically 12 times the fighter and hero Green Arrow ever was.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird to go back in time and read this reversal with Dinah being so helpless vis-a-vis Green Arrow being the avenging hero, because later in time, it's just that she's such a capable, so much better hero than he is. It's kind of weird.
I don't think any of this points to her being incapable.
A little. I mean,
the Green Arrow
as a silo.
Comic. Yeah, I don't think that. Like, I think it's very based on the way this is written. I would say it's very plausible that she just got clocked on the head or something, and then that was it. Like, it's not like she was like, I'm a bad superhero and lost a fight or something. I think it's just like shit happens.
Again, I think it's you didn't see what happened to her.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, we don't know how she got caught per se. We just know that they were looking for her, and maybe she was not careful enough. Well,
I just mean more in contrast to more modern Black Canary.
Yeah, she's like
comics.
A badass fighter and way different. Yeah,
it just something like this would be like impossible, like inconceivable to happen to her, because she's
maybe inconceivable to happen to her, but I don't think it's inconceivable that Green Arrow would save her randomly. Or vice versa, I think, is what I'm saying.
Oh, no, that part.
I just mean,
I'm not specifically arguing that part.
Within this silo of a storyline, like they did write them well as a couple, but like you don't see any of the adventure at through Dinah's eyes. So maybe Dinah fought like 12 fucking guys. Like maybe she beat the shit out of like a dozen men.
Yeah.
And they just overwhelmed her. Like, she could have had like this big badass fight. We don't know what happened to her. But if you're a first time reader reading this book, you would think that she's like a very incapable superhero to get herself big. And the fact that she insisted that she wouldn't do it by herself and that she could handle herself and don't bother me. She was annoyed with him like spying on her. It really painted her as this incapable.
I mean, that the note she leaves really underpins the ineffectualness.
I see where you guys are coming from. I guess I just didn't read it that way. I looked at this more as like an example of exactly what she was worried about happening. Like, one of these days I'm gonna get hit or something, and I'm gonna get captured, and I'm not coming back that night. Like it's that inevitability of like, it's almost justifying her position from earlier in the book of like, we can't have kids, you lunatic. Like, one of us is gonna die one time, and like this is like, I think this is just an example of like, oh fuck, that almost happened. And where does that take Green Arrow as a character? Where does that take her as a character? But it also kind of just shows, like her reasoning behind not wanting to get married and have children from earlier in the book.
So
I can break it down further and go like, this is obviously like an example of her not being a great hero or whatever, blah blah blah. But I guess I didn't see it that way.
Well, the one thing I'd say is to contrast sensibilities from the 80s and to now is, Joe, your point is completely accurate. This is highlights the whole reason why maybe they shouldn't have kids and all that. Mm-hmm. But again, you could highlight it the same way by having Green Arrow be captured and tortured and not the female.
Sure.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, contrasting to more modern norms, I think that's also part of it. Like, you can make the same point without using the woman as the helpless damsel who gets caught unawares.
Again, I agree, and I completely understand and hear what you're saying. I just feel like because he's also been fucking up the whole book, I didn't.
He's definitely. I mean, he did.
I just read it as like, going out is dangerous. What they do is dangerous. Like, this can happen. Period.
And also, going back to
because she's a woman, this is what happened to her.
Well, for sure, and also going back to the gender dynamics, like so far and through the end, the only takeaway you could possibly get is that Shadow is way more capable than Green Arrow is.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so, all of that is in the book, but I think it's still fair to call out.
Sure. Yeah. No. Absolutely. I guess I'm reaching, I suppose, into like what I think might have been his reasoning behind writing it.
But so back to this, and this is kind of a cool art note from Grell, and also, but I guess also the color here specifically. But so we see an arrow stab through the guy torturing Dinah, and it is so covered in blood we can't tell whether it's Shadow or Green Arrows.
And I'd mentioned that earlier, but like I love that.
But I think it's a cool note of you don't know who killed him.
So currently in the scene, Shadow is inside, and Green Arrow is looking through a window. So when the arrow pierces the dude's chest, you're like, oh, well, that was clearly Shadow, right? Obviously, like that's what you're meant to think. She's been doing that. Even specifically through the back and out the chest, she's been doing that the whole book. So like, it's not, you're meant to think it's her, I think. And then when he comes through and saves her and like all this stuff and starts shooting other people and everything's said and done as they're leaving, like he picks Dinah up and the guy's on his back finally.
Here
and
you see
the green.
panel.
Yeah. You see the green fletchings and you're like, oh shit, that was him. Which is hilarious because 5 seconds before that, he shoots a guy through the leg. That guy shoots some flammable liquid up above him. It literally rains fire down on his body and melts him. He just dies screaming on fire. And I'm like, I know he didn't literally light the guy on fire, but like, if you're gonna feel bad about someone dying, it's not the one that was cutting up Dinah. It's the one. It's the one that you shot through the leg that just randomly lit himself on fire and the entire.
Doused himself in napalm, basically.
He's like, I'll just shoot this guy through the leg, and the guy's like, and you're like, oh shit, that.
God, and then Shadow shoots that arrow through the guy's eyeball.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, it goes through his eyeball, like through the temple. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And then this issue ends with just that like giant explosion. Pretty big
Shadow just like she just slowly walks away.
Like, I'm done here.
They even used the dude with the Uzi to block the fletchings of the arrow in the shot when Green Arrow's breaking through the glass. Like you can't see it. You really can't see it until the very end when he.
Yeah, I mean it's really supposed to be a reveal that it's great. Wow, it was Green Arrow who did that. And that's it. That's issue 2.
Warehouse explodes. Yeah.
And Longbow Hunters number 3, Tracking Snow.
Tracking the snow.
So we begin
this
with
is
the
very
nightmare
this
scene.
is very like 80s. The snow on the mountains. I'm surprised there wasn't a skiing scene where they were skiing and shooting arrows at the same time.
This also there's
fucking awesome. If
there's helicopters and explosions and action. It's all 80s, all super 80s.
This is a very end of it, and also I like the set piece that they move from Seattle to like a random mountainside. in Oregon.
Well, first of all, it's not
still in Oregon.
No, it's Mount Rainier's. Well, first of all, Seattle is not in Oregon; it's in Washington State.
Sorry, Washington.
And Mount Rainier is also in Washington State.
But it's Texaco, the gas station, owns the national park. Is that right?
No, Texaco is part of the. No, it's just a Texaco.
What does that mean? Just one gas station?
First of all, why disguise yourself as someone else to give someone directions to meet you? Like, you just meet them directly.
I think because she wanted to get him there without confronting him.
But I just don't understand the need to disguise yourself to then meet in person.
Why go to that length of disguise? I don't know.
Also, again, bad disguise.
She dressed up like the garbage goblin from Labyrinth. Like, what is she doing?
There's and Al, you'll love this. There's a scene in The Dark Knight Returns.
You talking about Batman Forever?
Yeah, The Dark Knight Returns. Where Bruce is dressed as a garbage lady.
Yeah. No,
But he has like full on like prosthetics on and a mask, and it's crazy, and he's an enormous garbage woman.
Yeah.
That reminds me more of Labyrinth than this. This is just someone put a shawl on and hid their face a little bit, and they're like pretending to be an old lady just by hunching over and mumbling
She's
about
talking like a lunatic.
But so
anyway, Green Arrow my bad, is tortured by the murder of the person, and also envisions himself getting lit on fire, which is probably, post-traumatic stress from the fact that he lit someone on fire.
Yeah, he very directly lit someone on fire. Yeah. But also it's a dragon breathing fire on him, and the dragon comes into play in a second.
Well, the dragon is Shadow.
Yeah. But
I love how the cops found these what is clearly from arrowheads melted in the fucking fire. Don't know which of them killed the guy, but don't know if they're different. Don't know if they're yours. Don't know if they're hers. Kind of thing. I just love the way this dude is fucking with him.
Well, also I like how he's smoking in a hospital ward. Which would never happen.
Well, that just
these days.
Yeah,
he's smoking nonstop inside.
He's not in the hospital room. That's not allowed.
No, but he's in the ward.
You can smoke in the hallways.
And
when I had my children, I was outside in the hallway smoking nonstop.
So Green Arrow knows that she has this dragon tattoo.
Then when the stork came, I lit up a cigar.
The stork is here.
Sorry.
Green Arrow tries to find the Shadow going through a tattoo artist because she has a dragon tattoo, and I like how this tattoo creep has like an ass tattoo to show him. Dragon! I got this little ass tattoo.
It's a book of tattoo. That's super normal. I do like how he has a little lizard on his balding spot. Not he's bald. He just has his hair's receding.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
also
much more bald than I am, but I have those. He's
got a phoenix on his.
I have those deep wells on the side of my hair too, and I was like, I could get a little gecko. I can get a little gecko over there.
He's also an expert on Japanese mafia.
It's weird. That was very. This was pre-internet. Like he just knew all that stuff.
Japanese
Much like drugs and prostitution and AIDS and what else do we say? Just rampant crime. Crime and crack in cities. If you're a tattoo artist, you are a criminal. That's just a well-known fact in the 80s. If you have tattoos or put tattoos on people, you know all the criminals and are one. That's very normal. I think this is a completely normal thing.
I'm just remembering now that I think we skimmed over the part when Ollie first goes to the police officer about the women being murdered, the sex workers, and the police officer's like, well, what can you say? At least we don't have to worry about the AIDS coming out.
Yeah, he legit says that.
Probably good for us with all the AIDS around.
God damn. Also, Ollie's street clothes while he's talking to the tattoo artist. He's just knocking it out of the park. Striped sailor t-shirt, weird open crew neck thing with a weird popped collar leather jacket. I don't know what he's doing right now.
Well, you can't expect him to be kind of in tune with the current fashion trends. He's an old man of 42.
He's an old man grandpa.
He's a 42-year-old old man. You can't expect.
Do you think that tattoo artist saw him walk in the door and went, nice outfit, old man? You don't know what you're doing.
Probably.
Do you think Mike Grell drew him like that because he was like, Ollie's cool and I should make him dressed cool? Or do you think he dressed him like that in the sense of like, Ollie's an old man and is not a touch and doesn't know what cool people dress like? And this is what I think that means.
No, I think it's this is what cool is.
Are you sure? I don't know. I feel like there's a touch of like he's also old and doesn't know what he's doing.
Nope, that's what cool is.
I don't know. I think in the 87, like it was like what cool was like maybe not. There's a lot of cool things from the 80s fashion wise, but I feel like there's some things that were like definitely misses. And I think these outfits for Ollie are.
Yeah. And so one note I want to make real quick.
I mean, he's one step away from like big shoulder pads from the 90s.
That's it.
He's like one step.
One thing I want to say. So there's this little intermediary scene where the two bad guys are talking, and one of them, the CIA guy, brings in a sharpshooter he knows called Fires.
Yeah.
Do you guys know the Ben Affleck movie called The Accountant, where he's where he's an assassin? What Ben Affleck is like, this is the accountant killer. Is this Fires guy, not Ben Affleck.
I also loved when they brought him in because I was like, this guy? He's like, I got a guy. And you'd expect like a normal dickhead comic book thing would be like, it's the executioner, or it's KG
Bullseye.
Beast, or it's Bullseye, or it's like, and then you're like, oh shit, it's a villain, like a real villain. They just bring in this nerd in a tweed jacket.
He looks like the guy from Mr. Miracle that was the babysitter.
He's like, I want you to, he does.
Name?
I don't remember.
Can't remember.
Wasn't Fires.
He modeled it after himself, though.
Flashy Flash. I don't know.
But this guy's got a tweed jacket. He's got the elbow patches.
He's got elbow patches and bow tying it up.
And
he's
glasses. This is the accountant that Ben Affleck should have been in the movie. The
and then they drive away in a fucking Ferrari.
I didn't get the joke. The arrow shirt joke. What was the joke of that? That he'd have so many arrows in him that it looked like it was a shirt.
It was a bad joke.
I think it was just
I don't know what it was meant to be.
Yeah.
And they both found it hilarious.
The accountant thot it was hilarious.
He's like, arrow shirt. And he's like, I thought you'd like that. But they know each other that well that he's like, I'm going to say this dumb joke. He knew he goes into this conversation going like, I'm going to say arrow shirt and Fire is going to love it. And he does. And they keep talking about it. And then the last thing he says, he's like, arrow shirt.
Arrow shirt.
And you're still laughing about it. It's been 5 minutes. Is that good of a joke? It's a bad joke.
Yeah.
Arrow shirt. And then Green Arrow goes to Texaco and gets a map.
Wait. Before we talk about that, I do love that this scene, even the scene with Ollie and the tattoo artist, they're double page spreads, but it's juxtaposed with like the sides being like backstory for Shadow, and I think it's super fun. It's a super fun way of telling that story.
Yeah,
it's weird because it's chopped up, but like as the scenes progress and you're getting closer to like the culmination of the story, it's really cool seeing like, I don't know, instead of just like expository dumping her backstory on us in the very last issue of this, it's spread across multiple double page spreads. Yeah. And what's currently happening is in the middle bits and on the sidebars.
It's kind of showing like the beginning of her story and like
and where it's come to. Yeah, but I just love. I like it's a really good way of telling that part of the story without just fucking giving us page after page of her backstory and then cutting back.
I mean, the only thing I'll say, like in fairness, her backstory is just learn to shoot. You are killer.
Yeah. Well, no, that's not true. It talks about her father and how he was tortured by these people and how he didn't give up the money, and then later on they hunted him down and all this stuff. Like there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, I feel like most of it is just Arrow learn to shoot. You are a shadow killer.
You are a shadow killer.
I feel like that's most. But so anyway, when she's trying.
But anyway, if you go to this one gas station.
It's not the gas station. You guys missed it.
Find a map.
You guys missed it. Apparently, Texaco published a guide of Washington state parks. And in that map, if you go to
Texaco,
grid H4,
the gas station.
But if you go to grid H4,
which is where you get fucking maps,
you get Mount Rainier on grid H4. The mountain. The mountain. Let's meet there.
All I'm saying is this: if this was like modern storytelling, they'd be like, here's the longitude and latitude grid coordinates for this place. But like they're like, she's like, go to the gas station, get a map.
Well, first of all, if it was modern, it wouldn't even be that. It would just
look at grid H4.
Be a pin drop.
Scroll down with your finger.
Well, no, if it was modern, it would be his phone would go off with Shadow wants to share her location with you.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's on Mount Rainier.
No, all the modern movies still do that. They're like, and the little things go across, the little letters go across the bottom. They're like, west one point blank degrees by north blank degrees.
But so they meet again and do an Archer standoff. But I like this page how her bow kind of splits the spread.
It's fantastic. Also, really by the way, it's slightly off from the middle because stapling a book together back in the 80s.
Yeah, you want to show the bow.
Yeah, you want to make sure the bow's not caught in the. Again, really, really great layout. Whether or not every single panel is rendered amazingly or not, depending on what you think of his art, he's really put some time in and some thought process into the layouts of the pages. And
The layouts, the composition of the layouts of the pages is often really beautiful.
Again, some of it is dated in the sense, even of the sense of the way the storytelling is happening, like what the panels show or what they're not showing. Like that. There is some 80s-ishness to that as well. But again, overall, really good.
Yeah, and it's just a lot of non-traditional, like rather than just panel, it's a large background panel with smaller.
Yeah. The shot of the park,
kind of
really
like picture-in-picture views within
that.
it. Yeah, it's just done differently. It's good.
I like when he just enters the woods and says, "I'm home," and that was cool. And then his narration is like, just talking about the silence, how deafening the silence can be when you're out in the woods, and how like.
I know, but that's such a rich person thing to say. Like the minute you're in the woods, just this is what life is.
I think it's more about like he's reaching back to his roots as a hunter on the island. You did dummy.
I think it's
cool. I like it.
I think it's rich privilege. But now we get and this next part's kind of funny because a helicopter arrives and the bad guys come out and they just start talking and revealing their whole plan. And it turns out that all of this is the CIA laundering Iran weapons money to the Contras.
Yeah.
Is what's been
they're getting money out of the country to destabilize nations across the world. And,
a noble cause. A noble cause.
The CIA guy
to do it. And the reason they're using drug dealers is because the CIA can't operate inside of the boundaries of the United States. We all know that. Right? It's normal. I don't know.
Another note I like is when their conversation starts, the CIA guy just goes, "Christ, it's cold." What do we mean out here?
He's a real bitch of a CIA agent.
Yeah.
He must be a pencil pusher desk asshole. Like he's not the ones that are out like in foreign nations fucking shit up.
But so we get a cool, and I do like
the cool CIA agents are like, "Hey, can you get us $350,000? We need to buy some weapons so we can destabilize this government."
Yeah, and we get, and I know we've already mentioned.
I got clean, perfect bills for you.
I do like this last kind of action set piece we get. Again, it feels very First Blood, Terminator, late 80s, early 90s kind of action movie. But it's cool because Shadow has her arrow pointing at the baddies, and then Green Arrow shoots an arrow past her, and you don't know at what, but then it turns out he shot Fires.
Also, I love that Fires is like set up to be this badass. First
he immediately
shows up in a tweed jacket with a bow tie and elbow patches. But then they cut to him going like, "Oh, Fires is here. You'll just never see him." And it shows a shot of him like as a sniper in camouflage, like up in a tree. And then we just cut to him just getting shot.
Immediately, Green Arrow takes him out.
He doesn't do anything.
Gets him right away.
He does jack shit. Oh, this is what I was talking about, though. It's really cool. Like, not only does Ollie shoot past her, barely missing her, and the bowstring, by the way, as she shot, which I thought was awesome. But also, this is when he pins his hand to his shoulder as he shoots him, and I was like, "That's fucking awesome!" Like that's cool, yeah. That shot, like, so just like. I know it's a comic book and it's ridiculous, but like him being like that good of an archer is fucking cool. Like that, it's just little parts like that. Where you're like, oh, okay, I kind of buy a superhero that uses a bow and arrow when you do cool shit like that.
Well, because he probably had his hand on the trigger, right? It must have been like, yeah.
And then all hell breaks loose, and there's other people with guns that Shadow takes. She takes out a machine gun guy in a helicopter. She just shoots him out of it, which is pretty badass.
Fucking fantastic.
There's a cool scene
shooting at her, and the bullets are just hitting around her in the snow, and then the helicopter gets very far away, and then she's like, "Thoom," and just nails the dude. I was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah."
There's a cool scene which also deals with Ollie murdering people, but he jumps off a cliff to kind of evade a helicopter, and the helicopter does a flyby, thinking, "Oh well, I guess he's gone." But then Ollie is on a tree branch and just shoots the gas tank of the helicopter and blows it up
because they're looking for him. They go up right next to him, and the pilot's like, "Oh shit,
oh shit, he's right there!" And then boom, they're gone.
Oh shit!
Ollie doesn't kill them.
He blows up the helicopter.
The helicopter.
No, he doesn't. His arrow bounces off the outside of the glass.
Oh, does Shadow?
And then the helicopter explodes, and he looks up at Shadow, and she waves. I took care of it for you.
She got him.
Yeah. So he took a shot at them. Don't get me wrong, but like he didn't get the shot. Like his arrow.
No, it was her. Yeah, it was her because she just kind of waves like, "Yep, they're done."
And he's like, "I guess I'm okay with you murdering them for me, although I was trying to shoot them."
Well, he's kind of okay with her murdering for him this whole miniseries.
Yeah, he's good with it. He kind of lost any moral high ground he had when he murdered that guy from the back.
And so then he catches up to the CIA agent who basically just tells him, "You can take the money. It's unmarked. I don't care. I'm gone."
He's also dumping just a suitcase of cocaine into this river.
But he's just nonchalantly dumping the cocaine.
Well, he knows he's not getting off that.
Look at this panel. He's just nonchalant, and it's just flowing out.
It's so much cocaine.
It's so much cocaine. Way more than that was around that guy's neck, and he had a lot of cocaine.
God damn.
I don't know. This whole bit with the CIA agent at the end, I kind of loved. I was just like, this is fucking
Well, it was kind of fun because Ollie basically writes out like, "This is your conspiracy. I've pieced together everything you've done." And the CIA agent just says like, "Yeah, but with no evidence, what are you really going to do about that?"
Yeah.
And I'm out.
And he's like, "Also, you can have this money, and also hope the IRS doesn't find out about it, whoever the fuck you are." Sherwood florist. I mean, I don't know. We cut back to Magnor.
And who's famously playing computer chess.
Villain turns on the lights and the hero's in the room, Yeah.
Classic. And he's famously playing computer chess.
Yeah, computerized chess. Not chess on a computer. Computerized chess.
And this is where we get also Magnor fills in kind of the full backstory of how
Magnor really tells his whole he's like I'm going to tell you all this, but basically because I know I'm going to get away with it because I'm old, and even if they do, he's like, I've got years of
appeals. He could
appeals.
Keep appealing it. Yeah.
He's like, I got years of appeals, and by the time they even sentence me, I'll be 90, and they'll be like, nah, don't worry about it. Like he basically says, I'm so old that by the time the courts catch up with this bullshit, they'll basically slap me on the wrist and send me home.
Yeah. I also like how as he's talking, Green Arrow is just
disgusting how true that is.
But I like how Green Arrow is sort of playing chess and touching the pieces and stuff.
Computerized chess. It's not just chess.
As he's talking.
Green Arrow actually didn't show up to confront him. He just showed up because he wanted to play the chess. He didn't know that.
Yeah, that's all he wanted to do.
Back to the office that night. He's just there to play chess. So you guys saw this a little earlier.
He's I mean, not for nothing, but Magnor walks in and turns on the lights, and he's mid-game. So he's been playing chess in the dark for a while, which I think is a weird move.
So there's one question I have
technology.
About
computerized chess didn't have a backlit screen because it's the 80s. It's just you need the lights. You need the lights on to play.
Well, maybe he turned them off right before he got them.
You can't play computerized.
He runs and he turns the lights off. And
turns them off right before.
He hears them coming. And then he has to stretch his knees out a little bit because he's been sitting on the table too long, and then he gets.
He's 43.
Yeah, because he's 43 years old. Because he's 43. He's a grandpa.
Question about Green Arrow's motivations here. So at the end of this discussion, he basically tells him, like, your CIA guy is going to testify against you to cover his own butt. So I think you're going to go to jail. Then Shadow kills the guy, and Green Arrow just kind of waves at Shadow like, hey, girl, thanks.
No, he doesn't say the CIA guy's not involved anymore at all.
No, it's Osborn. Osborn is the CIA guy, and he's saying Osborn can't testify for you because he's going to cover his own butt. So I think you're going to go to jail.
He can't testify for you. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
What you made it sound like he would testify to save himself, but
no. But I just meant like. But my main point is just: does Green Arrow want this guy to go to jail, or was he just stalling for Shadow?
No, he does. No, I think he wants him to go to jail. I think he genuinely wants him to go to jail, but also doesn't give a fuck if Shadow catches up with him and kills him.
Because he definitely just waves to Shadow. Like,
the way he waves, it does make it seem like he knew.
I don't think. Again, I think he thinks that's inevitable, but the reason he's there is that he wants him to go to jail, and he's willing to. Basically, the guy's saying, like, well, you're not going to do that because you play by the rules. And he's like, no, I don't. And he's like, there's a guy I know that's named this. And that's just like a lower dude that he talked to earlier.
I think it was the guy with the cocaine vial.
Yeah, I think it's the cocaine vial guy. But he's like, I'm going to get that guy to say this. And he's like, that's a lie. And he's like, I don't care. I'm going to send you to jail. And like, you can't do anything to stop it, blah, blah, blah. You know, so that was the part. I think he's there for that. Whether Shadow catches up with him or not, which I think Ollie knows is going to happen.
I feel like,
but in the meantime, he's just going, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And this is my play. Whether she kills you or not, which is probably going to happen, by the way. But, you know, like, I just think he's indifferent to her doing that. It's not that he knew she would, or in that moment, rather. I think it's just, that happened faster than I thought. See you later, you know, kind of thing. I think that's all that was.
Okay, so just like God to our prayers, he's indifferent to whether it happens or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like also like he murdered someone as well, so he can't really be pissed off at her about this.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
He can't be. That being said, he murdered that guy the same way she's murdered everybody, and they were both there, and he could totally.
It goes her. No one knows.
Also,
their arrowheads were melted. They were slag.
Yeah. Also, she murders. It'd be funny if there's a scene where the cop is like, "She murdered a dog," and that's serious. He's like, the criminals that are dead, I could give or take, but you kill a dog.
He's like, she murdered. She killed a dog. I'm pretty pissed about it. And he's like, also, she killed some other dog. There's a guy attached to a white dog, broken back on a boat down there. And he's like, oh yeah, that was her.
They drowned to death.
She's like, we need justice for Adolf and that poor German Shepherd, Heinrich Himmler.
That German Shepherd who was probably named Goebbels.
Yeah. Okay, but that's kind of it. I mean, there's a little epilogue where he tells Dinah, "We got him, and we're rich." And that's
and also he's kind of is that when he's like, "You're right."
There's more to that scene.
We can't.
Well, they do. He does say like, "We shouldn't have kids." You know, you're right. We shouldn't have kids.
I think that's the main part. I think. Well, I mean, I do like the part with her going like, I'm going to find the guy and get him. And he's like, well, we already did that. Don't worry about it. They're all dead.
This other woman who's much more capable than you did your job for you.
Yeah, way better than you. Better than me. Better than all
captured. She didn't get captured like a loser, like a prisoner.
He's like, if this was a story in a comic book, she's the hero.
Yeah, if anything.
I didn't do shit.
Do you guys
get your special powers back?
Can you wait a sec? Because I'm getting weird feedback in my earbuds. I can't hear. It sounds kind of like a. Does this pass the Bechdel test? The Bechdel test. The Bechdel test. Does this pass the Bechdel test?
The answer is probably
no.
So, in a sense, this passes because there's a lot of scenes where Oliver Queen and Dinah talk, and so it's two queens talking.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
So, in a sense, it could pass the Bechdel test. Otherwise, I don't quite think
it does. No,
it doesn't.
It does.
Shadow are the only female characters. I don't think they ever talk to each other.
They don't really talk.
I mean, Dinah talks to a drug addict in the making.
Yeah, but all these in the like.
Yeah, he's right there.
They're not.
By the way, can we talk about the insanity of somebody on crack just smashing through a window in an urban environment?
And then you being like, I need to find out who did this to this woman.
Who did this to this poor woman? Not going like,
to risk my life.
Fucking drug addict just smashed through my window.
I mean, you think it's insane, but that's just what inner cities in 1987.
That's what it was like.
Yeah,
that's what it was like.
With all the
I mean, I was 8 years old when
all the AIDS and crack going around, and horse.
What's the big line that Sigourney Weaver says to the Alien Queen in Aliens 2? Fuck you, you bitch. Is that what she said?
Get away from her, bitch, or something.
Get away from you, bitch.
Get away from her, you bitch.
I saw someone post on Threads and said, Sigourney Weaver or Ripley saying, "Get away from you, get away from her, you bitch," to the Alien Queen passes the Bechdel. And I thought that was really funny.
Oh, by the way, Magnor in the end scene here goes, well, I'm a little surprised. I heard you were in town, but I didn't realize you were working with the Yakuza. And he's like, you've done a pretty good job, you and that slant-eyed bitch. I was like, God damn.
Yeah. Oh yeah, okay. I didn't want to bring that up because that's definitely there.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the 80s, guys. That's how they talked back then. Now they're sex workers. Back then they were whores.
Whores.
Yeah.
Horrors.
So definitely not the most politically correct book.
I love that the end scene. I mean, to Al's point though, I do love that the end scene is like, also I got a big raise, and he holds up the bag of money and didn't keep it. I was just like, of course,
but then you go launder that money.
Used to be rich and lost his fortune, quote unquote, in the stock market. Was just,
but they don't have to launder it. Like the CIA guy said, it was unmarked, right? So
that's right. It's so he just had to. So does a rich man who lost everything is just literally handed money by the government.
That's actually pretty believable.
More on.
Believable.
So on point. So on point. Rich white guy gets a shitload of money to keep us breaking the law and murdering people, apparently.
Okay. All right, so I think, and that's pretty much it. So I think, do we want to do recommendations and wrap this up? I don't know.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
I'll just go first. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. Again, it's very of the time. It feels very 80s, but the art is great. The color work is great. The dialogue I thought was pretty well written. Aside from, we talked about some racial language that maybe doesn't stand the test of time. But overall, I think it's like a tight story, good reimagining of the character. I think it works. Like, I would recommend this as definitely. I don't know any other Green Arrow arc I would recommend over this. So
over this, I don't know. Along with this, maybe. But I'd have to reread a lot of Green Arrow and be like, oh, okay, this is a good one, kind of thing. But I liked it a lot. I recommend it. It holds up pretty well. Again, I said that earlier, but classic yet dated, but in a good way, I guess. Like, it's of the time. It's from the 80s. You can see that in every single panel and the way it's written. But I think having the one writer artist kind of combo allows it to be paced well, and it avoids the trap of walls of narration. Like 3 days later, Iron Man is down an elevator, and whatever the fuck happened in the Armor Wars.
Well, it's also another, when we read older comics from the 80s and 90s, we often talk about how wordy and overly verbose.
Yeah, they're overly wordy.
This one actually is really, it's good dialogue.
And I think that's because of the combo writer-artist combo, like Grell, because like it allowed the art told a lot of the story as much as the words did. So like it really helped the pacing of it. It really helped not being inundated with text and dialogue, because he wasn't, as a writer, trying to get his bit in. He was just going like, well, I can tell this story as a whole, and I think that really helped it. It did really feel like watching a Magnum PI episode, which is not a bad thing, just starring Oliver Queen. But I really liked it. Patty said it earlier, but I liked that it was in Seattle, not a fake city. Like, it felt grounded and real.
Yeah,
there's some really good dialogue. There was some really good like beats of, felt like real people talking and not just like, let's say words so we can get to the next action scene. But yeah, really fun. I've said this multiple times, but this version of Green Arrow's costume is probably one of my favorites. At least the hood and mask combination. But yeah, and also Shadow is like a phenomenal. I don't know, not villain, but antagonist in the story, and I've always loved that character. So, yeah, this is a great book. I recommend it.
Yeah, I also recommend it. Fantastic book, I thought, for all the reasons that you all have said. Art was great. Story was truncated and fast, and pacing was good. I've never liked Green Arrow more. He was a very likable, relatable character. My big complaint was I'm a big Black Canary fan, and she wasn't shown in the best light, and she kind of played the damsel in distress trope a little bit, but that is kind of, as Joe said, counterbalanced with Shadow's character, where she's by all respects superior to Green Arrow in archery and fighting, and she's a pretty amazing character, so that kind of balances out a little bit for me. Dinah not being at top tier. But yeah, no, I think for millennials, there's something about the art style. I don't know if y'all agree with this. there's something about it that like reminds me of like illustrations from like children's, like it's more detailed, but like it's like that. It reminds me of like stuff from my childhood that I think if you're a millennial,
like a Berenstain
really
Bears
get some
kind of stuff.
Yeah,
like
kind of like that. Like this was very much, or just like book covers and stuff like that.
Like an illustrated storybook.
Yeah, so there's just a little bit of a nostalgia there for me. Yeah, and I didn't even think about it until Al said it, but yeah, 1987 with that little dialogue to talk for the story is kind of almost unheard of. So I would definitely recommend this. Great book, really.
All right.
When I think about it now.
We did it, boys. We won comics. I think.
We did. We won comics. Yeah. Good journey, everybody. Yeah. Couchers.
Goodbye.